think we own Troy Candy. What's happening, brother?
Getting used to Queensland life.
Yeah, dude, you're a requested guest. I had just like so shout out to Jack Simo. He hit me up like a couple of weeks ago and he was like, dude, you got to get Troy on now that he's moved up to Queensland. And it's one of those things where it's like, as soon as someone says something, the fucking world has a way of like a bunch of other people, you know what I mean? Sort of starts popping up again. So I was like, man, I know fuck all about this dude. But yeah, anyone that Jack Simo recommends, I'm like, all right, fucking let's get it going.
Yeah, no, for sure. Appreciate it.
And then the great man just rolls up in a Ferrari and fucking, I'm just like, all right, what's doing?
Cheers to the house, mate. Yeah.
So yeah, you just moved up to Queensland from Victoria, right?
Yeah. Just down there. The lockdown just literally put my whole life on pause. Like, I got multiple businesses, and I just kept trying to push through, but I just affected everything. Like, my actual core business, which is modifying cars and stuff, it's a factory that physically closed because it's like a retail that had to close. So I was like, you know what, I'll push on. I got the Troy Candy website, which is all the party equipment, snorkels, outfits, all that. And then we got the clothing brand ECM label, so like, the hats and like all the ECM stuff. And then sales just started dropping, because I couldn't do any fresh content, couldn't do photo shoots, couldn't hire studios. So like the shops closed and Troy Candy's like easing off, ECM label. And then like we've had no rent reduction. We've had like all our outgoings are still outgoing. And obviously, everything's good. So like, while all this stuff's pumping, you go rent like an expensive house and finance expensive things. All that doesn't stop. So I just bit the bullet. I said to the missus, I'm like, fuck, let's just get out of here and let's make a move. And been up here 2 weeks now, but I think actually it's probably one of the best things I've done. And regardless of COVID or not, just for content creation and stuff, lifestyle up here. Every day is sunny, everyone's up here, there's like cars, bikes, jet ski. It's like, I'm like, why the fuck didn't I move up here ages ago?
Dude, it's fucking Gollywood.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's all happening. Yeah,
like I've been talking about it. Like when I first moved back from America, like I lived in Hollywood when I lived in America. Yeah. And it's just, it's not just Hollywood, but California. It's fucking every day sunny. The weather's so good. Like people kind of gravitate towards there for those reasons. And then the content thing is there. And when I moved back, I was like, well, if I'm going to do the studio thing, I just want to build the podcast studio in that zone where that sort of shit is going to go down. And a lot of people were like, why the fuck would you build a studio in Burleigh? Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'm telling you, it's Gollywood. Like it is going to be this place that will be like Australia's version of, LA. Like it has that scene. It does. And then you've got, all the fucking models and the influencers and all that sort of shit. And it's not like that's what the people that I want to get on the podcast, but there is a certain vibe that just seems to like draw people to that, whether it's, moving there and living there or like sort of coming here. But man, it's like insane in just the last couple of years to see the way that this place has changed. It's fucking pretty gnarly. Yeah,
like I've only sort of come up here and there, like back in the day for like schoolies, or you just come up for the weekend and you do your sort of surfers paradise thing. But this is the first time really spending time going out to Queensland Raceway, going to the tracks, doing like, I guess, being a local. And like, I didn't realise how much actually lifestyle stuff I had. I thought it was just like a bit of a holiday destination, but no, it's cracker. I reckon I'll be here like even once lockdown's over. I don't think I'll go back.
Dude, Melbourne is in a fucking state right now, or just like Victoria in general.
It's insane. Like, considering in February when it all first happened, I just got back from Bali. Actually, it broke out while I was in Bali, like when it sort of went big.
What dates were you in Bali?
February maybe 20 or 10.
Fuck, right. I was there the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whereabouts were you?
Canggu.
Yeah, I was, dude, I was there as well.
How's that?
Yeah, and everyone was like, we were watching the whole thing, being like, what the fuck's going down here? Like, do we need to leave? Or
yeah, that's I didn't like obviously understand the severeness of it, so whatever. And then got back, and then they said, we've got to sort of lock down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I was like, fuck, 2 weeks. Fucking 200 days later,
Dude, more now. It's like 250 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I left it probably. Yeah, but like I like literally just it just got. I think it was the Sunday, and he announced the hectic stage for like the biggest one where it was like you couldn't even go with your partner to get groceries. She had to go by herself, or you stay home, or vice versa. And I was like, no, this dude's not like we're down to like 2 new cases and still in lockdown. I'm like, this is not. And all my friends were like, what if you go to Gold Coast and it happens there? I'm like, it's not the virus, it's the way the state's being managed. So if there's a breakout in Gold Coast, which there was, they managed to track it and trace it properly. So yeah, I literally just rang my estate, said I want to get out of my lease. Had a few meetings with the boys at shop. This is what's going to happen. Booked a car carrier, brought the toys up here, booked a furniture truck, went into quarantine, and then just got out and just made it happen. Like I decided probably like a few days before I wanted to leave, and then just booked everything, made it happen, booked the flights, got the permits, did the quarantine, and here we are.
Dude, it's fucking crazy to see like I'm seeing so many people right now in quarantine that have made the move. Yeah. And people are posting about this is the way you do it. It is a fucking bizarre time that we're living in, man.
Yeah, it is. So my mates that went up quarantined in Gold Coast before me. So I obviously went to book Gold Coast, and then there was just, because I think when you book your flights, it automatically, so if there's no flights available, there is flights available, but it means the quarantine's full.
Oh yeah.
So I went to book Gold Coast, kept waiting. There's no flights, and then I was speaking to someone. They're like, that means the quarantines will be full. So I'd search Brisbane, and there was flights there. So we quarantined there. 2 days into landing there, my mates started messaging me like, hey, how'd you get to Brisbane? There's no flights there, or Gold Coast. So they've all quarantined in Darwin. And I'm like, this is insane that all these, they're big, like there's heaps of quarantine rooms.
Yeah.
And for them to be full is like, is nuts. And even getting out like...
And they're people that are like, to do it. So, I mean, you could probably speak on the process a bit more than me, but from what I've seen, it's like you've got to have proof that you've got a new lease, and you've got to have proof that essentially you're moving your whole fucking life there.
Yeah. You don't come up here for 2 weeks. Like, you got to change all your bank statements, show proof of lease, get your permit, get it all done. So it's not a little thing, and for that many people to be moving, even like I'm trying to get a warehouse.
Keep talking, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, I'm trying to get a warehouse, and pretty much I was speaking to the real estate agent, and they're all going so quick. Like, as soon as a warehouse pops up, it's going straight away. Anyway, I found this like business park. It has like 60 factories in it, and he's like, oh yeah, from Melbourne, blah blah. We're talking. He's like, yeah, there's probably about 50% of these factories that are leased to people moving their businesses from Melbourne.
Yeah,
it's like, there's like how Melbourne was like best livable state for like 10 years or whatever, and then now it's like, I don't know how it's going to recover from it, because it's just like the butterfly effect. Like, you know, we're just the little guys moving, but the big dogs who are packing up, they're going to, like, you know, the big developers that are developing big skyscrapers and stuff like that, investors that are going, no, we don't want to touch Melbourne for the next few years. It's going to like have a ripple effect, and it's going to hurt the economy, and everyone's just looking at the short term, like, oh yeah, JobKeeper will be okay, but
yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I know a lot of like, people with some big businesses really changing structure, and all guys, because everyone in Melbourne had to learn how to, if they wanted to run their business, they had to learn to run it from home. And a lot of people like me, which what I did, just thought, fuck, if I've got my business running remotely, why can't I just... Yeah, why don't I just live somewhere better? And I don't know how it's going to go, but like, you picture, like, I don't know, say someone like Telstra that has 1,000 employees in the CBD. So you got to imagine their rent, their petrol, their like all the stuff they're giving 1,000 people. They've got them all running from home, and even if their productivity's only dropped 10, 20%, even 30%, if they've cut out all their petrols, their cars, their leases, their rent, why would they go back after this? Like, and if their business is still running fine. So I think it's going to have like a bit of a... I don't think it'll be the same again. Yeah. Even when it all goes.
Definitely.
And yeah, I just thought I'll just make the move, get up here, get set up. And so far, so good. Like, it's been wicked. Like, it's been awesome.
There's gonna be, I mean, the world's just different now. And one of the things, like I was talking to a mate about this the other day, you all think that, I feel like we all think we've got a lot more freedom than we actually do. Like we thought before this COVID thing that we're like living in this free society and we can do what we want and this and that. And then this comes along and it just proved so fucking quickly how you could just be controlled.
Yeah.
And it's like, stay inside. And everyone's just like, yep, no worries. And my buddy was saying, he lives in the UK and they've just gone into like this next stage of the lockdown. And he's like, oh yeah, but it's made news, like this one gym owner's like standing up saying he won't close for this new lockdown and this and that, and like there's going to be an uprising. I'm like, bro, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. There is no uprising. There's no, and it's fucking done, because like for the majority, I think for people like us, like we're fucking white, we're Australian, we own our own business, we get to sort of do what we want. We're like the 1% of the 1%. And we're the people that maybe we could have a little bit of money to put up a fight, and maybe we could make a stand, and maybe we've got a following that would like listen to what we're saying. But it's like, yeah, fuck, great. But the rest of the like the global population, they don't have the luxury to say like, fuck the man, fuck this, I'm not doing that. It's just like they go, well, I'm struggling to survive as it is. I can't do anything about this. Like, I literally just have to do what I'm told. And then it's like, now there's separation between those people that just do what they're told, and then the people that might want to be like, fuck this system. Or it's like, but mate, you're in this tiny group and you can be squashed so fucking easily. And that's what's happened. And now, like, I wonder, we get through this COVID thing, because at the end of the day too, like, the numbers don't back it up.
No.
Then, like, in terms of the cases and the people dying, like,
not at all.
Pretty much everybody. Like, I don't think you could find anybody that still at this point in this fucking pandemic that would actually tell you that this is the right way, that we should be doing this, and things should still be closed, and borders and fucking blah blah blah. No one agrees with it.
Yeah.
But we're all inside.
Yeah.
And we're all fucking playing the game. So it's like, essentially, that life that we thought we had, that freedom we thought we had, this is the first time where it's just like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's that's another thing I said to, you know, when I've talked to people, I said that was another thing about Melbourne that made it toxic. It wasn't just Dan Andrews and the way they were running it. It was the division of people. So like, from day one, me personally, I don't know why, I just didn't believe in it. Like, the very first second it came out in a video from some guy in China just fell and dropped dead and it went viral, I'm like, this is weird. Like, I don't think this is like, this virus can't just like make people drop die. And then I just kept continue on doing what I was doing. So right at the start, if you go back to February or, you know, March, April-ish, I was just going out doing whatever, and I was putting on my Instagram, and literally everyone, like, you know, you're a dickhead, you're selfish, people like you are spreading this, you're a fucking idiot, I want to see my family too, but you're not. And then, you know, get like to June, July, that like dropped down a bit. By like, before I left, I was still just posting whatever on social media, not to rub it in people's face and say like, I'm doing this and you're not. I was like, more like, it was like a negative, toxic thing. Yeah. And I was like, more just posting like, I'm still doing whatever.
And
like,
I'm fine.
And give people some entertainment. I'm always doing dumb shit. And people were reaching out going, I've been stuck at home. Like, a lot of people didn't want to break the lockdown law. So like, imagine not seeing anyone for like 6 months, not doing anything. And they were saying like, every day I just look forward to watching your stories and stuff. So as I was like, you know, I'll just keep posting it. But yeah, pretty much by time before I left, not one person was, they'd all, at the start, it was like, oh, let's see you do a better job than Dan Andrews, when I was posting like, you know, this is a stupid plan. You know, oh, he's doing his best he can, and then like they'll dropping off slowly down. By the end of it, I was doing whatever the fuck I want, and not one person would message. But the thing that made it bad is like, just the mask and the anti-mask, the vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, the discussions, I would check my Facebook wall, it's just everyone turning on each other like good mates, like literally turning on each other because, oh, he won't let me come over because he just reckons like we got to do what we got to do, and then I said he's a dickhead, and then blah blah, and like, it was literally dividing people So it wasn't even just like the lockdown laws, it was the way people look at you in society. And you know, like I'd go through a shopping centre and I'd forget my mask, and instead of turning around and getting it, I was like, fuck it, like whatever, if you've got your, I believe you, I'm just like, if you got your mask on, then you're safe, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
But some people just fucking like would literally yell at you, where's your fucking mask, blah blah blah. I'm like, fuck this place, like this is, it's one thing like dealing with the police and the government and that, but then when you got like dividing of
your fellow
people,
citizens,
it's like, it was just everywhere I looked, it was a shit vibe. There was like roadblocks every day to go to my house and this and that, go through, where you going, where's your paperwork, where's your permit. It's like, fuck man, I'm just trying to go to work, someone's dropping off some products, like I'm trying to fucking put food on the table, and you're gonna sit here and give me a fine if I can't prove that. Like, yeah, it was just, I got too much.
We've gone away from this like innocent until proven guilty, and the fucking world is gone. Like I've just been saying, like we're just living in the upside down. It is what it is. Like we're here now. Because now, you're guilty until proven innocent.
100%.
And it's like you doesn't matter whether you've got the papers or not or whatever. It's like you're fucking guilty. Prove me wrong. Prove yourself innocent. And it's like, that's not how this works, cunt. You prove I'm guilty. That's how this fucking system works. It's what we've been doing for thousands of years. Like if I'm fucking guilty, that's on you to tell me that. You need to prove that to me. You can't just fucking lock me up, throw away the key for something that you think I've done. And that's what that sort of seems like the mentality that everyone's got at the moment. It's just, it's constant suspicion, it's constant fear. And like that fucking Dan Andrews dude, I don't know what's gonna happen to that guy.
Once he's sort of created a bit of a shield around him, with this state of emergency being extended and stuff. Like everyone's like, you know, really high up solicitors, heaps of people have done like opposite parties, like people high up, they've taken him to like court hearings and this and that, and like the state of emergency and state of disaster extension really has granted him invulnerability. Like I don't understand too much because obviously I'm not into politics, but doing a lot of reading and even talking to people that are in like law firms and stuff like that, they pretty much just said like he's pretty much invulnerable till that 6 month extension. And this is the thing, is the problem that lays is when people are like, you know, not against him and saying, oh, he just needs the state of emergency extended just to be able to manage stuff. They don't know all these new laws are coming in, like police can get a verbal warrant over the phone. They don't have to go to courts anymore because in a state of disaster, they're getting warrants off members of parliament and stuff now, not the judge, so like all these things are twisting in the back end. But the thing they show you on the media is, oh, we need a state of emergency so that we can deploy more forces on the ground to keep you safe. They're not showing all this stuff that's going on in the back end. And the people that are all for it is like examples like my mate does finance, and we were talking about it. He's like, man, this is fucking crazy. I got this girl approved for her new car. The bank rang me up like a few days later saying, actually we have to unapprove it. So what the hell's going on, blah blah. And they're like, when job seeker runs out, her wages are less, so she's getting paid more for not working than when she was working full time. So these are the people like, fuck, this is sick. Like, who is going to be against that? Why would you work full time when you can sit at home and get paid more?
And that's one of the kind of weird things in this, is that cooperation's been incentivized. Because, and it's like I was saying, like we're in this weird minority. But the majority of people, to get $750 a week, they're just like, fuck, I get $750 a week to do nothing. And this is generalizing, but if you're working a job that pays you less than $750 a week, there are people that have like kind of fucked up circumstances where they come from bad places and they don't have great education and this and that, and they might want to do more but are not really capable of it. But there's a lot of fucking people that are just lazy cunts that make up society, and they don't really want a good job, they don't really want more. And it's like this whole deal plays into those people. They're like, you don't have to do more now. You're good. Stay home. We'll give you this. We'll give you money. And it's like, that's what I'm saying with, you know, the vast majority of people are just like in these kind of shitty positions. And then you just prop up those people And it's like there isn't going to be a lot of opposition when it comes to that.
No.
And man, like I was hanging out with this chick, and she just, you know, is like a fucking hospitality worker. And when this whole deal come in, like before, when it was the first, like, we're going to do the 2-week lockdown just to stop it, blah, 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 all for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, I own a business.
Yeah.
This shit doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not eligible for this.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, have not got a cent off the government in any way, shape, or form through this. And you've just got to fucking battle your way through.
Yeah.
And then when you want to take opportunities from those people and then, you know, kind of go over there, of course you've got people that were just like willing to comply. And then once you give that first bit, you just can't take it back.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what's happened. And now it's just extend.
Yeah. Things will really turn when because the tiers are dropping in JobKeeper. So it's from 1,500 a fortnight, then it's 1,200 a fortnight. Then I think it goes down to you have to work a minimum of 20 hours to even get 1,000 a fortnight. That's when all those people who weren't standing up for themselves is finally going to stand up for themselves. It was too late because then the state of emergency has been extended, blah, blah. Like why ever he's done it and why he's done it is actually really smart. He got the majority of people to be content with life, being locked down, making that much money, doing nothing. By the time they're not content with it, it's too late.
Yeah, it's over.
So props to him for
but I just I don't understand it. Like I haven't been following so much of it. So I mean, half the shit I'm fucking honestly speaking out of my ass anyway. But but I don't get the motives.
Nah.
Like it's crippling a state.
Yeah.
I don't understand why someone would want to cripple a state in that way. And like you said, dude, Melbourne was the powerhouse of Australia. Like fucking crazy. You got an insane state with crazy developments, like massive sporting events, huge cultural centre, cultural hub of Australia in so many ways. And then this. And I'm like, why, dude? Like, I don't understand.
There's no clear motive. Look, the only thing that I've like, just when I reflect on it and think to myself, I won't go too into it because I've still got an open court case, but just some stupid shit going on at home, like traffic and just crap like that, traffic infringements, whatever. But like I had police driving an hour to my house, knocking on my door, questioning my missus, who was driving this car, who was doing this, and she was literally, she said to him, is that why you're here in stage 4 lockdown, to ask me about a burnout? And they showed her a video, and she's like, so you've come out an hour, 2 of you, to my house face to face to ask me if I did a burnout in an industrial estate on a Sunday, and where there's some deadly virus, like we're locked down. And he pretty much just said, I can do whatever the fuck I want right now. And it wasn't even our address, because we just moved, so we hadn't changed all. She's like, and why did you even come to this address? It's not like it's not on paper, it's nothing. Like they're just going off social media. And he was just being away. He's like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want right now. He's like, I'll come into your house. Like, they can literally. So my only thing is, that's just little bullshit. You know me. I'm just a fucking nobody. But the big dogs, if there's some serious crime going on, and I've heard a lot of stuff, I think they're just walking through people's houses and shit now and just getting warrants, doing whatever the fuck they want, because everything's just, the courts are closed. Even my little shit, they pretty much like took my car, took everything, and I can't get into court because the courts are closed. So like you said, I'm copping punishment, but
you're not even guilty yet.
Yeah, but I know I won't even get found guilty for these things. So that's why I got really pissed off, because I'm like, if we actually did this properly, and like they just did it all fucked up, like not the way things do. Like if something happens in a car, they're supposed to go to the registered operator, nominate someone has to like come forward, do this, do that, get a summons. They skipped all that, came to my house, that isn't even, I don't even know how they knew where I live, come straight to my house, took my car, did this, and he pretty much said, I'll do whatever the fuck I want right now, like because of like what's going on. And then I was thinking, I'm like, fuck, imagine like guys who are actually doing bad shit, they wouldn't have any leg to stand on. And I heard some crazy stories like, you know, the COVID fines, breaching COVID fines, $1,600, then went 3,000, now it's up 5,000. I heard a bloke he got pulled over, couldn't think of an excuse, whatever. He's like, fuck, I'll cop the fine. Got home, paid the fine, And then 2 days later, cops came to his house, took all his guns and stuff. And he's like, oh, I got registered. Like, you know, they're all registered and I got my license. They said, no, you can't because you've got a criminal record. And he's like, no, I don't. And he's like, they're like, yeah, you do. The breaching COVID was going down as a criminal act.
Fuck.
So I think there's more, but I just don't know. But I feel like it's like...
There has to be though, you know, like because it just...
Why would you want everyone to hate you?
Yeah, that's the like... Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I look at what's happening in Queensland, and like, we've been fucking sweet. We had our restrictions, and everyone was pretty cruisy about it. It didn't really, like, I heard of a few people getting fines and shit like that, but it's like, for the most part, our state's been good. It feels like it's been handled super well, like, and even our premier, it's not like I couldn't even fucking tell you the premier's name here.
Neither.
Because they're not on TV every fucking day. It's like, this dude, it's become this, like, he's become this villain in this fucking, in this pantomime that we're all kind of watching, and it just doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah, I did read something like that. Like I read like an article saying that he'll be one of the most remembered premiers ever, even though it was for bad, but some people would like that. Yeah. Like, there could be a reason he's done that. Like, no one will ever forget Dan Andrews and get on the beers and fucking like
carry on a bit. Yeah.
You know, like that stuff. So I mean, actually the first day out of quarantine here it had been that long that it was I couldn't fathom what was going on. So like, I got to meet people and they go to shake my hand and I like, you know, and it's human nature. You're not supposed to like everyone's got masks on. So you lose that, you know, a random smiles will pass. They give you a smile. You don't know if they're smiling or not.
Yeah.
You want to shake someone's hand. You lose all that like human nature and connection and that's normal for us. Like, we need that. You need to see friends once a week and socialize and interact. And, it actually took a long time, like I would just randomly think like, nah, that shop will be closed, or oh shit, I don't have a mask, can't go in, or too many people near me, or like and it's like everyone back at home is watching my stories and they're like I walked down Cavill Avenue on Saturday night and it was just like lines of, like right out the club down the road, and everyone was messaging me going, is that fucking legit? Like, I can't see my fucking sick mum, but these guys are going clubbing. Like, that's just like, it's, you know what, maybe 100 years ago there's no like, you know, connection between the states. You wouldn't know. You'd think the whole world's like that. This is okay. But this day and age, when you're getting told to sit at home by yourself, this and that, and then you go on Instagram and see people going to clubs and festivals and shit, that's when you're like, fuck this. That's what I did. I'm like, this is fuck. If you guys were all locked down, I would have just stayed at home and be like, well, it is what it is. But you can see it's not how it has to be. So,
well, that's the thing. We went to Cairns on this trip, and we were at a nightclub, and it was the first weekend that they bought that you could stand in nightclubs or whatever. Stand with it, and in my head, I'm just going like, all right, so there's no cases in Queensland. Is that still true? Is there any cases in Queensland? I thought we had like no cases.
I've got no idea.
I'll just Google it real quick.
I actually haven't heard anything. Like, even Victoria apparently has got 2 new cases yesterday. So
and let's be fucking clear, that's 2 people with the flu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was one of the things. This internet's probably gonna be shit.
Even in the absolute peak of you know, when Melbourne was all over the news for being so infected and stuff, my mates were messaging me from other states, or even my mates in America were like, dude, like, Melbourne's fucked, like, everyone's dying. I'm like, I don't know one person, and I know I've got a pretty big network, I don't know one person with it, and then I did know one person that had it who tested positive, but he said he didn't know he had it. Like,
no
symptoms, nothing. So like, it's very hard to believe.
So I wonder, so we have 7 fucking total cases, 4.
Yeah, and I think actually they're in they just flew in and they're in quarantine. They're from like overseas.
Fucking hectic. There's 4 people. So we're in this fucking club, and they're like, oh, that you can stand now, but you can't dance. So like, we're with these people, and it's like my mate's girlfriend. This song comes on. She's just standing, and then she starts just dancing in the same spot that she was standing, right?
Yeah.
And then the bouncers walk over, sorry, no dancing. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck? There's 4 cases, and dancing in the same place, like, there is no difference to fucking dancing or standing.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? None of this shit actually makes sense. And if you know, like, oh, we can have this many people in this pie shop. Like, we're at Beefy's fucking pies in Gympie, and they're like, oh, we can only have 4 people in the shop. But that same fucking person, you got the 3 people in there, and then there's the line outside, and then the same person that was just in the shop walks past you to leave. Like, there's one fucking door. It's all of this, like, semantics that we seem to be getting into, and it's just like, what is the fucking point of all of this?
Yeah.
And it's just like regulation after regulation after and it's like, hey man, none of this has anything to do with catching or transmitting a virus. Also, there's 4 fucking people in the entire state of millions that have it. So it's like, at what point does common sense prevail?
Yeah.
And it's like, through this whole thing, I haven't really seen a lot of common sense. And to me, like, the common sense thing, and this is what I sort of thought from the start of this, is like, there was people dying. Yep, cool. Now, they're within a certain age range. Okay, cool. You've got this JobKeeper thing, so like, there is money that the government can then give to people to stay home. All right, so if you're 50 and over, you're in quarantine.
Yeah, just stay home and fucking...
If you're scared of getting COVID and you want to apply for JobKeeper, stay home. If you want to keep your business going, and if you want to run the risk of catching the flu in the same fucking way that you run the risk of catching the flu in any other way, shape or form, then that should be your human right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like there is like a violation of human rights, in the sense of they're taking away your choice for your own health. But it's like, diabetes kills more people a year. Alcohol kills more people a year. Car crashes kill more people a year. So there's a freedom of choice that you have. Like, you drove here in a Ferrari. That car can go fast enough to kill you.
Yeah.
My Triton can go fast enough to kill me.
Yeah.
But I've got this choice, and I can make a choice. I can also choose to cross the road. Yeah. I can choose to go surfing. There's been a fucking bunch. More people have probably died of fucking shark attacks in Queensland.
In Queensland, yeah.
Just this fucking last 3 months than COVID.
I'm still too scared to go in the water here.
Which you should be. But you know what I mean? So it's like, what's this distinction that, you know, the people can just make to just fucking choose for you? And, you know, they're the things where I'm just like, we're entering a fucking weird time. And now there will be a point where the lockdowns and shit will end and life will be fairly normal. But like, I could see always needing border crossing things, and I could see this, you know, a world where there's going to be some, you know, weird quarantines when you enter a state, and you've got to have health checks, and you know, there's going to be a hangover where this shit, like, it just doesn't ever fully go away. But what's fucked up in my mind is that now all of these all of the infrastructure's in place. So let's call it a new thing, COVID-22. Oh guys, COVID-20 back in fucking side. Yeah, there's just now this like crazy level of control.
Yeah, there is. I feel like everything gets tested too, because realistically, if you did want to do a stage 4, wouldn't you just bang it out and get it done 2 weeks? And then if like stage 4 was hectic, like you couldn't do shit. So if you bang that out straight away 2 weeks, how the hell could it spread? It's almost like when, you know, all right, we're going to do this, and then just push a little bit. By the time you're in stage 4, you turn around and you're like, holy shit. Like, whereas if they had to drop stage 4 straight away, everyone like, fuck no, like, ride against it, this is bullshit. But they're like, hey, today you can only go 100 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 5 kilometers, you're not allowed to leave your couch, right? Blah blah blah, you got to wear a mask. And they just slowly push people into the circle, and then once they're in the circle, you look back and you're like, man, if you told me in January that you had to wear a mask, you couldn't go to work, you couldn't leave your house, you couldn't have one friend over, you couldn't you weren't allowed to be outside for longer than an hour. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? If you're in a park by yourself,
you get 2 hours in prison, don't you?
Yeah, it was like, that's what mates like we were talking about, and they're like, fuck, it was actually better in prison. Like, we got to do activities, we got 2 hours out, we got to go to gyms weren't closed. Like, it was literally Victoria just turned into a prison, and that's a problem. It just sort of gradually happened, and then people turn around and they're like, you know, you just wouldn't fathom it in January if someone said this is what's... I honestly like, and then, you know, there's like little leaks of, stage 3, this is what it looks like. I was saying, mates, man, you can't do that. Like that, I'm like, that's the biggest load of shit. That's fake. Like, you can't get told to stay at home. Like, we're in fucking Australia. Like, I don't know much about other countries, but I feel like compared Australia to me has always been like, that shit doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and when it actually started happening, I'm like, well, no one's going to abide by it. And people started abiding by it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This is crazy. But this is actually something I haven't spoke about on my, even on my social media or nothing, which I've noticed, which I think is important to address. I watched that, I don't know if you watched that Social Dilemma.
I haven't yet.
It's pretty crazy.
I've read most of the books and the shit that was referenced in it from people that have spoken to me about it. Yeah.
Well, they talk about one of the main things is everyone's perception on stuff because of the way social media is controlled for each individual. So what they see, and being in Melbourne, and I didn't notice this till now, but since I've been here, so every day in Melbourne, my news feed, everyone arguing, Dan Andrews on TV, COVID safe things popping up, radio, this, that, stay safe, blah, blah, like, and it really was like a fucking rain cloud over my head without me knowing, subconsciously.
And without you choosing.
Yeah.
You didn't follow any of that stuff. You didn't click on any of those tabs. You didn't like want to check that shit. It just happens to you.
Yeah. Even to point news articles, this person dying, this person's arguing about their shop, this person fined, showing all the roadblocks, this. So, but I'm a really positive guy, always happy. I didn't realise until I got here I was actually not happy, and like for me I think I was like at one stage a bit depressed. Like I was actually smashing like a bottle of red a night. I'm never like that. I was just lost motivation for work, but I didn't know it because I like eased into it. Getting here, I've like actually just looking back, I can tell I was depressed. And this is the thing that worries me is I was in like a really nice house. I was with my missus in a happy relationship, really good business. And for me to get depressed, I think about like, imagine the people that are already on their last leg. Maybe their missus left them, they lost their job, then they're stuck inside. If I'm getting depressed and everything's sweet, what about these people? And no one in the rest of the states, well, not many people I believe would understand the severity of it, because since I've been here, I haven't heard nothing. Like I catch up with my mates and they're like, like one of my mates did a status saying, hey, does anyone have a Bunnings card for me that they can go get some shit for me? And I was like, what the fuck's that? And they're like, oh, you need these special cards to be able to go to Bunnings and shit. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And they're like, yeah, they've closed Bunnings, they've done this, they've done that. And I used to be up to date with all that and seeing it, not because I really cared about it. It was just pushed in my face. Yeah. Since moving here, I'm like, fucking don't even see any of that. And I don't think the rest of Australia will really ever know or understand or feel what like Melbourne people have felt. It's just, like I said, subconsciously just like a rain cloud, and that's just like you wake up in the morning and I was just like, today's just gonna be another shit day. Like, and for you to think like that, it's just not healthy. But I didn't realize it till moving here, and yeah, it's just something I like never really, because they talk about it in the Social Dilemma, and then now I've seen it firsthand. Moving states, all these things I was seeing every day, hearing, whatever, is just gone. Like it feels like I forget that COVID's a thing up here.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
It's literally a border crossing. We're not changing planets or countries.
And there's not even a fucking border.
Yeah, nah.
When you drive from Queensland, I drive to New South Wales to ride bikes weekly when there's none of this fucking shit going on. There's no fucking border. No. There's a sign.
Yeah.
There's a sign that says welcome to Queensland. Welcome to... That's the same when you go from here to South Australia.
Yeah.
Or sort of Victoria to South Australia to Western Australia, Western Australia to Northern Territory to Queensland. It's just a fucking sign.
Yeah.
We're all in this same place, but you're right, man. It's like they fucking draw this line, and the shit that you fed, you know, through the media, the shit that you fed on social media, that shit is what actually does outline a state. And that's fucking scary.
Yeah, it's what dictates. It's what people's perceptions. What puts people. You can put them in fear. You can put them in whatever you want. They can literally control an imaginary line of people, and it's just. I've got mates that like drive to Queensland every week for freight. So they go on a Queensland border declaration site. You got your quarantine pass, this pass, that pass. You know, if you're a military, you get a pass, and then there's a freight one. You can just go through the border. They don't even pull you over. If you've got a freight thing in your window, they just wave you through. If Victoria's got this like hectic, deadly virus, I'm pretty sure a freight pass, a bit of paper off the internet doesn't control who goes through and who's not. You can literally just be Joe Blow and just cruise on through and come back. They don't follow you in a car to see where you go or like what you do. So it just shows like it's not about the virus. It's not about nothing. They just care. Like this guy, Dan Andrews, is just caring about what's happening in his state.
The thing that I said too from the start with it, and this was before it was more obvious that it was fucking nothing, is I'd say to my friends that if COVID-19 made your eyeballs melt out of your face and drip onto your shoes, and then you fucking died via a head explosion, we would all stay inside.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what would happen. Like, because there would be this self-preservation mode that would kick in. That's like a biological thing no one could avoid. And you could be the government and you could try and do the opposite and make people continue living their life, and everybody would go, fuck you, dude. I'm not having my eyeballs melt and drip on my shoes. You can eat a dick, cunt. But that's not the case.
Nah.
Like, no one's scared of this thing because it isn't fucking a thing to be scared of.
Nah, that
even at its worst.
That government website, I forgot what it's called, whatever, but they just released the flu cases for in June for like the last year to this year, and we lost all our flu cases. So no one got the flu this year. So does that mean we're technically heaps healthier?
Well, that's because COVID is the fucking
exactly.
flu.
But like, I don't know, what is that, all the flu cases exactly? So how can no one get the flu? When we've been getting thousands and thousands every year, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, flu's gone.
And like, I've only spoken about, I sort of decided pretty early in the piece that I just wasn't really going to talk about COVID that much. Because there was enough going on about it. I decided that I wanted to keep the podcast as a source of like positivity and bring people these great stories and try and do my bit to make the world seem normal, as opposed to just every single weekend or every single week talking about the same fucking shit. But with your case, you've experienced it very, very differently. Like, I haven't had anyone on the show that's actually made the move from Melbourne and sort of lived through it, so that's sort of why I wanted to talk about it this time around. But man, the craziest thing with that I've sort of wondered is like, why hasn't there been any riots? Why hasn't there been any protesting down there? Because to me, like, I'm frustrated for the people. Like, I've got a bunch of great friends down in Melbourne, and I'm frustrated for those people at this point because of the way that we're living. You know, and it's like, it fucking sucks to see. Like, I got friends that you talked about, big developers. Like, I've got friends that are fucking massive developers, self-made guys that have worked their entire careers. Like, I'm talking dudes that were working fucking 18 hours a day for 10 years, like, give their entire life to build these businesses. They're just going to shit. And it's just like, it's fucking so sad to just cripple these people that, you know, you put these roots down and you work your fucking ass off. And like, that's like the freedoms that we've been afforded in Australia. Like, that's why it is such a great country. But I wonder, like, it's at the point for for me where I'm like, dude, I feel like if I was there, I'd be trying to do something. And it's like, why haven't there been more of those riots?
It all comes down to what you said before. It's like the minority. Like, I've got 15 cars. I'm the minority. Not many people have 15 cars. That's $1,000 each in rego. I've spent fucking nearly 15k just in rego this year, and I haven't driven any of the cars. I haven't gone anywhere. I've got, you know, all my work safe bills, my like outgoings, my utilities, my rent, my this, my that. None of that. All that's gone out. So obviously me, I want to riot, but everyone else hasn't got that shit. They got, you know, one car which their money's coming in. It's covering it anyway, so you know they don't care. And then the other thing is they got such good control of like I don't know if you've seen how Google had that warning one day where it said the new Australian legislation coming in. So like in like you know, China, they can the government can pay, but they can also pay money for Google's. Not in ads, just like behind the scenes, so not sponsored. If you say what's the best water to drink, what's safest for me, and they don't want you to drink a certain water, it'll secretly like do it in the back end. Well, Google had a thing and it had like a tab, and I clicked on it, I'm like, what the hell is this saying? It's like they pretty much just said that Australia is asking for this too, so just letting you know our terms and conditions might change and stuff like that. But their control over all that is I'll give you an example. So right now, like today or yesterday, something's gone viral in Melbourne. It's a little meme screenshot thing, and it's like Australia had 1,000 cases in June, and the UK had 1,000 cases in June. Now UK just hit 15,000. Australia had 2. So before you turn on Dan Andrews, you know, think about this and blah blah. And now that's going viral. And half the people I've seen share that were fucking complaining about the lockdown. But now they're like people just jump ship on whatever's like moving. So now there's all these people like, you watch, that hasn't happened too much now, but I give it a week when they announce one case or whatever. Dan Andrews will be the man that saved Victoria. You know, like we know what the hell's gone on behind the scenes. We know how much it's destroyed the economy and this and that. But all that shit just goes out your head, and people are very now. Yeah. They don't, you know, you've seen everything go viral on the internet. 1 week, it's like some hectic war, and everyone's like, save these children. Yep. Next week, it's a guy drinking cranberry juice on a skateboard. Culture, it's like, so everyone's going to forget about the full destruction of like businesses and this and that and the lockdowns and the fines, and they're going to go, oh wow, we've got one case. See, Australia's the best. Dan Andrews is the man. They don't, and the thing is, like, people die. Like that's where, well, I'm gonna die. You're gonna die. That's one thing that I can tell you for sure in this life. Yeah. And it's like we're trying to protect people from this thing that is like literally gonna happen to fucking everybody. And then you're celebrating this guy for it's none of it makes sense in that front. But you're so right with the way that we're turning into like a meme culture, and it's so controlled by these platforms, which is, I think, like the main fucking deal of that. There's just stuff dilemma. Going viral.
But like that, it became so apparent to me this year with the bushfires. That was everywhere. That's all you could fucking read about. That I had people from America calling my phone saying, "Are you safe? Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, dude, like the fires are bad, but I mean, we've definitely had fires before. Yeah. But the whole world seemed to jump onto it, and then everyone's raising all this money, and it was like, and I mean, I've said it on here before, but people jump on these things like I liken it to a diet, like an extreme diet. If you come to me and you're like, hey man, I'm going on this new diet, I'm going to have no sugar, I'm going to have no carbs, I'm going to only drink water and only drink black coffee, and I'm only going to eat within a 2-hour window every single day. I'd be like, cool, I'll see you in a week. You won't be doing any of that. Yeah. It's too hard. Yeah. That's not how it works. Like people don't just have these like overnight switches where they can change literally every single thing about the habits and the way that they've lived their life. And that's what happens with these causes that people go for. Yeah. And it's like the bushfires. Everyone's a fucking bushfire activist. Everyone wants to save all of the koalas. It's like there's been a disease that's been wiping out koalas for the last fucking...
Yeah, why didn't you care before?
No one give a fuck then.
Yeah.
And it's the same as, you know, then we had, obviously, COVID, then we had the Black Lives Matter thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw someone post that Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, it's
fucking gone.
It's look, go back to like, remember that Coney
2020, bro. That was the first one.
Bro, like everyone was like,
sorry.
man, we got to go there, save these kids, this and that. Yeah. And then like the next week it was like something else and then something else and I see it like big time because we do a lot of like charity work. Like we've nearly done about $7 million in fundraising in the last 2 years through my business where we give away cars.
Yeah, right.
So it's like $25, go in the draw, someone wins the car and proceeds go to the charity.
Yeah, right.
So we did, because we did a lot of farmers in the droughts.
Yeah.
Which we still commit to. And then a lot of the farmers were getting affected by the bushfires, so we started going towards bushfires. But we didn't do like one-off things. We did quarterly commitments because we're still in touch with them all. I go out to like Gippsland and stuff like that, and people go, they got this much money, they're sweet. And I'm like, dude, they lost their business during the time where they make their money. Like, so if they're touristy thing, whatever, like they make their money over say Christmas and Easter and shit like that, they don't make money for the rest of the year. And people go, oh, they got that much money, you know, they can build a house. I'm like, that you guys have got no idea, like this has fucked them for like 10 years. So like we're still doing heaps of stuff. Like we supply like hay, feed, water. You know, I've been doing like heaps of different raises out there and like staying in touch with them, and I see it firsthand because I'm like, fuck, everyone was like all about the bushfires like last week, and now this week they're not, but nothing's changed. It's still just as bad as it was.
Thing, yeah.
It's not, it's fixed. It's like, you know, I could understand if it was fixed and like, all right, we're over that, onto the next thing, but it's not even fixed. It's not even that much better. And it's just like, they were like, no, we're on to the next thing. It's like, you know, like I remember some documentary went crazy with like, it was like vegan, it was like about meat.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty hectic. I watched like the preview and I was like, oh shit. Yeah. But fuck, what was it called? You know, it was like people.
Fuck, what was it called?
They were like kicking cows into like blenders and shit. Like, it was fucking real fucked up.
Yeah.
And fuck man, everyone was like going vegan. Like, yeah, I don't eat meat. Like this and that. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love anyone that it actually really does get to them and they want to better themselves and they do it. But there's a difference between people posting it on social media to get the clout and the I'm doing
it's
this
virtue signaling.
like when remember that chick in the something in the what was it went viral, she like took a photo with like Black Lives Matter and then just took it all off and walked. Remember she got busted?
Oh yeah.
That is like,
that is literally a euphemism for the problem.
Yeah, that is, so she pretty much got busted doing it not behind the keyboard. That video went viral. That was her in the making of, you know, dressed up with Black Lives Matter, this and that, some photos, and then as soon as the guy took his phone down, she just ripped it all off and walked off. Like that was done. I can't remember, I think it was something like that. But
yeah, no, you're right.
That's what everyone wants to do and jump on, and that's what's getting so hard with society. Is like you said, it's just next.
The perfect, the crazy thing, and it's like a perfect example is when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on. It was like right in the thick of COVID.
Yeah.
And I think that went so big because everyone was at home. Everyone was only on their phones. Like the potential for things to go viral in that period was so great. And then this happened. And like I said, I lived in America for 10 years. The amount of fucking times that I've seen, I was there for Trayvon Martin. I was there for a few of like big ones that went super viral for like in America. No cunt cared in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's like the same people that were telling me, and I'm like dealing with these people daily at like coffee shops and whatever, and it's like we got to do these regulations and this for COVID and this for that, and then this Black Lives Matter thing come along and they're all like, yep, fuck yeah, I'm gonna make a sign, I'm gonna march, we're gonna have this demonstrate, and I'm like, you're the same person that is like up me for like saying fucking this COVID thing's bullshit, blah blah blah, and it's like you want to criticize me for the things that I'm doing in terms of just trying to live my life, keep my business going, all that sort of shit.
Yeah,
you want to criticize me for that, But when it suits you and you can get a photo for Instagram, you want to go and get your fucking sign and paint your face and do all that.
Yeah.
Get your shots for Instagram and then fucking dip, and then it's like on to the next thing. And it's like that shit's incentivized, man, with the whole social media thing. And it's just like, it is super fucking unfortunate that's like they've engineered these platforms and they've engineered these things to like literally create that shit.
Yeah.
Like that is a phenomenon that has been made, and hopefully that, you know, I don't see it changing, but hopefully like the social dilemma, you know, and these kinds of things would like change people's perceptions and habits. But it's just like the reward, like people are just so like small-minded, and like the validation that comes through these platforms, and man, like fuck, it's crazy the just like the average chick these days, you can look on her Instagram and like there was I actually looked at this chick's Instagram the other day that I've seen her fucking for probably about 6 months like around, and I was like, oh, I'll check her out, her Instagram, someone tagged her in something, and I thought she was pretty cool. And I looked at her Instagram, I'm like, fuck, you're the same as all of them.
Yeah.
Like, it literally looks the same. You wear the same fucking clothes, you wear the same fucking glasses, you take photos at the same spot. Like,
and then you put the same Lightroom filter on and
you're all the fucking same. Like, this sucks. Like, it sucks that people have been so conditioned to do the same fucking shit as everybody else. It's just like, where did originality go?
Yeah.
Where did being yourself go?
It's crazy too, like the ripple effect. Like just talking to someone, we were discussing actually how like a lot of dogs in the pounds and stuff are getting put down because like when we were young, you could just go to the pound and get a dog or get a big dog, whatever. Now you have to have what's it called, a Frenchie or stuff, because like everyone on Instagram has a Frenchie. Yeah. So like it's sad. Like all these like normal dogs are really good dogs. Unwanted now, like you have to have a Frenchie, or if you get a cat, it's got to be like a short head, you know, like everything's changing. Like even brands, like when I was young, Mercedes and Gucci was an old man. If he wore Gucci, he was probably really old, or if you drove a Mercedes, he was old. Young dudes didn't give a fuck about a Mercedes. Like now, you know, some rappers head to toe in Gucci, Mercedes, goes on Instagram, you just see their lifestyle, these kids want to appear to it, then influencers posting all this stuff, head to toe in Gucci, Mercedes, this and that, then it carries down to the younger guys that are working 9 to 5 for $700 a week, and they're dropping $700 on a fucking Gucci scarf for their Instagram picture. And I just think like, I'm just like, how has social media gotten that powerful where some kid will work 40 hours for a scarf? Yeah. Like at Macca's, like hard 40 hours for a scarf. Whereas when I was 14, 15, 16, we're out riding like BMXs or, you know, doing the shit, but it's not like that anymore. And it's fucking crazy that people are so focused on, you know, I'll see mates like, you know, or people I know or whatever, head to toe in Gucci and AMG, and then other people like, fuck, you know, he's killing it. Like, I know he's decked out head to toe, ticked up, like he can't even touch a fucking credit card, and he's working his ass off. But that's fine, like, because he wants to live like that. But the problem is that little young dude that looks up to him now wants to do that. So, like, that's why my social media, like, I'll have Ferraris and shit on it or whatever, but like last week I went and bought a $500 VT and we took it out drifting, or like, you know, I'll try and keep my social media really real, and not, I don't care to keep it all super clean, and like I put the good and the bad on there, and like I show a lot of struggles through like my business and shit that's happened and being broken into, or I like to keep it real because I know I've got a lot of young dudes that look up to me, and I don't want them to get lost in thinking that I've got this dream life and everything's sweet. So when they don't have that dream life, that they feel shit about themselves. They'll be like, oh no, that's all right. Like I posted like a few years ago, or maybe like 8 years ago, I was driving, like my car was like a Honda Civic, like an old Honda Civic, like $2,000 Civic. You know, I'll post all that shit up and like show the, like all that. I've been through that. Like if you're going through that, that's just part of life. Whereas people look in these other people's things and they're like, think, fuck, my life shit, look at this guy, that's what I should have, like, you know. And even now, like, even like 3 years ago, I hit a bit of a rough patch and I bought like $3,000 Subaru. I actually had a Ferrari and at the same time got rid of that, and because I wanted to grow my other businesses, instead of like trying to look cool and have that AMG or whatever, I'm like, fuck it, I'll get a $3,000 Subaru. I cruised that for 12 months, used all the money from that, invested in other stuff, got the capital to fucking build everything else. But if I was so worried about like living up to my part on Instagram and brought the AMG, I would have nothing what I've got now, because my money would have been there and I had no freedom. But I would have been worrying about what everyone thinks, like, oh shit, Troy's fucking got rid of his Ferrari and has in a shit car. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I'm just going to live my life and do it, and I'll post it on there, because these young dudes have got to see that everything's not dreamy. You know, even girls, I feel sorry for girls these days. Like,
it's worse for girls, I reckon.
They like, I see a lot of girls on Instagram, and then you bump into them, and then you walk away later or something, and you click, oh, fuck, that was that girl. Like, she looks nothing like that. So imagine that 12-year-old girl in school that looks up to like a Instagram influencer chick. She's going to think that she's too fat, too this, too that, when that chick's like not like that on Instagram.
Dude, I know chicks that are hot as fuck that think they're shit because they're just constantly comparing themselves to every other chick.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, at some point we all just got to realize that it ain't about that shit. Like, unfortunately too, that it's just weird how into appearance people are just in general. It's such a surface level part of our experience. Like, it literally is the surface.
Yeah.
Like, what you see in terms of somebody's skin, that is the most like shallow part of that person. Like, it's literally skin deep. It's just a form that you see in front of you. There is no depth to that. What you look like tells you 1% about that person. But man, people have just got it so fucking twisted in thinking that's where the juice is. Like, that's what you've got to do. And like, I mean, there's a couple cool people that I've seen on Instagram, like chicks that have like real bad skin and they're like hot as fuck, but like they just struggle with like full acne. And man, I've got so much like respect for a chick that can be like that and go on Instagram and just literally show like how fucked up her skin is. And it's like that to me kind of like makes her hotter than what she'd be if her skin was fucking perfect. Because there's like, that to me is like a window into what that person actually is like. That says so much more about a person, the fact that she's like willing to wear her flaws so proudly, and I'm sure she's insecure as fuck about it, because that's not the perfect image. But it's like, you know, to me, I look at that and I'm like, man, that tells me a lot about what you actually have going on, like deep inside. And that's, if you get married to that person, like that's what you marry. Like, you don't marry people's fucking skin, man. You don't marry people. And there was this fucking crazy video that I watched, and it was on YouTube, and it was about this 97-year-old dude, and he was talking about death, and he's like an author and a philosopher, and he wrote like a book on death, and he sort of had this cool line where he's like, oh, I've written 8 books and I think 7 of them were really good, and I really knew what I was talking about, and the one that I wrote about death, I actually know fuck all. And you saw, like, in this video, he's super old, he's got this carer, he can't get out of bed properly, he can't really dress himself, like he's barely functioning as a human, but he's still there, like mentally or whatever. And he said that his wife only died a few years ago. And it's like, the years that you've got of looking good and being hot are like so fucking small, dude. Like, you get shacked up with a person, you should want to love a lot more of that person than just their looks. Like, it honestly shouldn't even be something that comes into consideration. And I think that we're all, like, at our age, because how old are you?
30.
Yeah, so like we're very similar in age, but it's like, mate, our window is fucking almost over. To where like looking good even is a thing.
Fuck, don't talk like this.
But it's true. But it's so true, and it's like the quicker that we can get our heads around the fact that like having a hot missus is cool for maybe the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then for the next
rest 40, of your life.
40, you're going to be stuck with that person.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is we're all going to get old as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start shitting the fucking bed. Pissing. Like, you're going to want someone. Like, when I watched this video, all I thought is, I'm like, fuck. I really want somebody that can help me when it gets to that point. And when we're both kind of losing our fucking faculties of just, like, getting around, and like you're literally reduced to just like sitting down with each other all day. Like, fuck, I don't need a hot chick at that point.
Yeah.
Like it does not matter, man.
Yeah.
What I need is like, I need a fucking good person.
Yeah.
That's like down to literally get old and slowly fucking die. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah. And that's still the same problem. These, you know, you have a kid that has, you know, say he has a quote, a 7 out of 10 appearance, girlfriend, super cool, awesome personality, and an 8 out of 10 likes his photos, his attention span's going to drift off and give that random 8 out of 10 that was probably a 5 out of 10 in real life. But this problem too is like these kids are seeing like, I don't know, your fucking Love Island, super sexy couples, this, that, like the reality TV moves on to Instagram, then they get well known and whatever, and then they think that like, fuck, like this hotter girl's giving me attention, I should move over to that. And, you know, like they're losing that because we didn't have that access when we were kids. You know, I actually met my missus even before Tinder. So, but like, I'll speak to mates and they're having a fucking blue with their missus and I'll just go on Tinder anyway. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I'm going to sort this shit out with my missus.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to meet people, but now it is. Like, you literally, you don't have to go out to club. You don't do nothing. You just fucking jump on Tinder and they'll come over. Like, it's a different world. It wasn't like that. So it's, like what we're talking about is like, it's all about appearance and now and this and that. And like, I think that connection is slowly disappearing. But it all comes down to, like, the word influence is a very popular thing. You can influence someone to buy the latest protein powder, or you can influence, like you said, that girl to show girls how to look after their skin, that they have pimples too, that this is real. And yeah, it's actually a lot better because being like that, not only but just being real and like you're actually helping people, which is just a better thing, instead of trying to do the opposite and show extra lavish life with being perfect. It's like, you don't, some people might not know, but it's like lowering the other people down, like to aspire to that when you're not that either. So I think like the term influencer is very, you've got to think about what you're influencing. But I think by being that person and being real, it actually benefits you anyway. So if you do want to make money off Instagram, you do want to be an influencer and you do want to sell products or make moves, I would connect with, say, like, all right, let's just say I was single and I followed one girl who was like super cool, always talking, doing funny shit, living a really cool life, or like a supermodel girl. If that girl who had heaps of personality, doing everything, brought out a product and said like, hey guys, I would be like, fuck, I'm backing her up, she's cool. That super hot chick with 10 million followers that's super good to look at, how can you connect because you don't know them? And I think that I've seen that happen with me. Is like, I don't have a very big following, but like compared to like dudes with millions of followers. But you know, I've got a super high interaction, and like out of like, I think I've got to say 100,000 followers, there's 50,000 story views every day. That's about 50%. That's like pretty high. And even the like the interaction, the comments, the conversations, all that sort of stuff. And I think it's because like you have that, it's important to have that connection with the guys you influence, and you know, if they can look up to you and if they can see you as a person to steer them in the right direction, they're gonna want to connect with you. So when you do have a product or you do something, so I think like people need to not stress too much too about being like it hurting them in any way. I think it's much better.
Yeah.
You know, like people worried about being real because then people won't think I'm like this or people won't think I'm like that. Like, I don't know. I think if you're going to be real, it's going to work for you anyway, and you're going to help people. And it's just, if the whole world was like that, social media would be like
a great place.
Everyone would be happy. People would be like, but it's not. And I got caught up in it, like when about probably 2014, 15, just started following like dudes with this and that. And then before you know it, you're like following all these like dudes in like Monaco with like 10 Ferraris, 10 mega yachts. And then like, I was like, fuck, my Ferrari's like a fucking shit one. It's old.
And my Ferrari's a shit one.
Yeah, but like, I actually got caught up in that. I'm like, this is fucked. I want like the 488. And then when you start thinking like that, that's when you get the 488, and then you want the yacht, and you get the yacht, and you want the 10 helicopters. You're never, ever going to be happy.
Yeah.
So that's when, like, you know, I'm lucky I learnt, early to just not worry about what other people are doing. And they do with 10 Ferraris, might not even be his, there might be all his mates and this and that, but I was getting caught up, like, you know. So scale it back. People do that with, say, like me. So I just actually did a YouTube series, a little mini series where I showed what I did when I was like 18, like how to, because kids message me and be like, hey bro, what car should I get? I want a cool car, but I don't have as much money as you. I got that like a lot of time. And whether, I don't know how much money they think I have, whatever. I'm like, I did a series showing what I did at that time. So I said, look, I've got $5,000 to spend on a car. I'll buy it, do it up, and have a cool car and do that. And it actually hit like number 15 trending on YouTube, and like it got like the views went mental overnight. Like usually like YouTube, the views build up real slowly, but it just went like boom, and like got heaps of amazing feedback from it. And like, you know, and it's just same thing. Like it's just, I'm just showing that like I've been there, driven a $5,000 car. I can still make it look cool. It's a cool car. I'm not saying like if you drive that's shit. Like, yeah, you know, and I just think like it's just, if everyone was like that on social media, no one would be bothering about comparing. The biggest problem is people comparing themselves to a fake life.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless you're Dan Bilzerian, like...
That dude's not happy though.
Yeah, but...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to look at it, and I think like, I've listened to a bunch of... I really like that dude's philosophy on a bunch of shit. I think he's super wrong about a ton of shit as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's learned through like mega fame that shit doesn't really make you happy. Like, he's learned what doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
But I think he's got his life to a point where like he has a brand, and I don't think that his brand makes him happy. But he just does it now because that's his brand and that's his
legacy
livelihood. Exactly. Yeah. But like, yeah, that guy, like, he has all that shit, but that shit's not making him like, there's not a lot of real connection that guy would have in his life, like, and I think that he's a good person to look at for, like, he's got everything, but the stuff that you think he has isn't what actually makes him happy.
Yeah. But I guess at least the shit he shows is actually his, whereas like a lot of kids would be looking up to someone that doesn't even own that shit. Like,
you look at a guy like Bilzerian too, though. Like, I know he plays it down, but he come from like a fucking super rich dad. Yeah. And his dad went to jail for like tax fraud with the IRS, and then there's a bunch of like just from living in America and knowing some people that have come from like trust fund type backgrounds. Yeah. There's ways you can lock up money in America. Yeah. That like the government just can't get it. Yeah. And when you put it in like your kid's name and wife's, and there's so many ways to do that. So it's like, you know, he didn't make all that money by himself. There was help to do that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And that's like, same thing. You know, if someone think, well, he did it, why can't I do it? You know, that person might be doing fucking wicked for themselves. They might be making millions, but because they're not making billions, they're like, and it's just all that, like, you just got to like stay in your lane, don't compare yourself, do whatever. But it's just, I just think people I think it's just going to get worse. Like,
well, hopefully, like these kinds of conversations and hopefully will help people to to have it out there. It's like you are fucking being pretty real about all the shit that you've got going on. Just hopefully, like, the more that this stuff gets out there, the more people can sort of take it on board, you know. But it's like, we're doing this 2-stroke build for like we got this mid 2K thing. We got 75 dudes building these 2-strokes.
Yeah.
And like, man, it was so fucking cool. Like, because I've got a 2020 KTM 350, like one of the best bikes, fucking expensive, brand new, all that shit. And it's like, I was super stoked when we did this mid 2K thing, because it's like, you can buy these bikes, like mine cost me $3,000. And like, I remember thinking, I got it was a fucking piece of shit. Like, me and my dad had to just like fucking jerry rig up all this shit just for me to ride it. I rode it, had no brakes, like, and it was so fucking fun. One of the best days I've had riding this whole year was on a bike that, like you were saying before, you might get someone going like, fuck, that's a piece of shit. And it's like, nah, dude, this was actually one of the best days I've fucking had riding. And now the process of doing it, like, we fucking stripped it back, and I stood at the sandblaster last night for 3 hours, fucking blasting all the old paint off the frame. Yeah. And it's like, that to me is like, I'm gonna be sad when this bike's finished. Yeah. And it's gonna be finished and it's gonna look fucking incredible. Yeah. But like, there's gonna be a bit of me that's like, oh, I'm bummed now, like, because the fun part was the process of doing it and knowing that like, you're gonna turn this piece of shit into something that's super fucking cool. Yeah. And it's like you said before, that the goalposts always change. You know, like, oh, I've got a 458, fuck, now I want a 488. Yeah. Man, imagine if I could have a LaFerrari. Yeah. And it's just like, you're constantly going to be moving the post, because as soon as something's attainable, it's human nature that you want to move on to the next thing. And it's like, if you get stuck in this process where you can't be happy until you have the thing, like the goal that you've set, well, you're actually never going to be happy, because that post moves. It's a mirage in the desert. You can fucking walk all you want, but you're never going to hit it. Yeah,
it's the end of the rainbow. It just the closer you get, it just moves further. And everything, like, I sort of got stuck on when I was like, 5 years ago, looking at that, like what other people had. There was a lot of times where even before I had the Ferrari, I'd go on a wicked holiday with mates, but because I was having a hard time trying to get finance on this Ferrari, that was on my mind. And I look back, I'm like, fuck, that holiday was fucking sick, but I remember I was shitty because I was trying to sort out the Ferrari. Like, that's so wrong. Like, I should have lived, put that aside, who gives a fuck, have fun with the boys, this and that. And then, because all the times and the journeys that you get, you're not going to get to do again. So that's the fun, that's the living, that's the journey. If your mind's elsewhere, obtaining, it's all good to have goals, but don't let it control your happiness if you got or not. You got to stay focused and move up. But when it consumes you and it makes you not happy because you don't have it, I think that's where the problem is. And it's really important to just live now and enjoy what you got now, but still move forward, but just don't let it fucking put you down and be like, fuck, this is shit because I don't have that. Because it's like, like you said, it's human nature. You say, oh, I'm only going to get like one arm tattooed. You get that done, you're like, fuck, I'll get the other one done, I'm going to get my leg done. Or, oh, I'm going to go gym, I just want to get 80 kilos. You get 80 kilos, I want to go 90 kilos, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, it's fucking happens. You spend 10 grand on your engine, you're like, that's all I'm doing. And then you get it and you're like, fuck, I'm just, maybe another 10 grand, we'll just do this. And then you get used to that speed, and you it's just human nature. It's like, you just want better. You buy a fucking 50-inch plasma fucking TV and you're like, yeah, sweet, this is sick. 2 weeks later, you go past JB and there's a 60 and you're like, fuck. But when you bought that 50, you're like, this is huge. Chuffed. Like, fucking, it's fucking sort of annoying that it happens. But
well, I think that the key thing that I think people should remember in that is, like, Sony knows that. Yeah. Ferrari knows that. Yeah. All of these, Gucci, they know that. Rolex, they know that. That's why they bring out new watches. Yeah. And it's like, that's what they've got to do, and to, stay in business. But like, I think that as a person that is just out there in the world, like, let's say buying a new TV or buying a new car or whatever, like, you have to understand that, because it's almost like you're getting fucked over. You know what I mean? You're getting duped. Like, they're playing a magic trick on you. Yeah. They're bringing out this new thing and you're being duped. Yeah. If you look at it and it causes you unhappiness to the point where you'll spend money that you don't need to spend, or you know what I mean. If you feel inadequate because there's a new thing, they're preying on that.
Yeah,
like they know that, and that's why they're doing it. So it's almost like you've got to, I think as just a person that's like going through the world, like you've got to know that if you have the urge to buy a new TV, that's been put in your head.
Yeah, you don't need it.
You don't need that.
You can see.
But I don't think that people are super aware of that.
Nah.
I think that it's a very unconscious thing to where you look and that's your first thought. You know, to go back to the social dilemma, it's like they engineer the platforms to keep you on. Like YouTube will show you a video that they know you want to watch, whether you've got shit to do or not. They don't give a fuck. They want you to stay on the platform, and it's cool. Like that's how commerce works. And we've kind of all decided that to have a free society, like buying products is kind of the thing that's gonna keep it that way. But you can't let it cause you unhappiness. No, because like, what's the point of being in the fucking game then?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, the human attention span is the most expensive thing on the market now. Whoever can keep the attention span is worth more than gold, worth more than which is fucking insane. It's nothing tangible, but
that's true. Huh?
It's become the most expensive commodity. Is the how long someone can keep them on their platform, and it's like what you said, the different like mine. I don't know how they fucking know, but I just, you know, when you say I always find myself 3 minutes deep into watching a video of like a dog getting saved or like a snake fighting something else, and I'm like, every time it happens, I'm like, fucking no, like, and then ads come up, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna skip it. I'm like, fuck, I want to see if this snake wins, or like, you know, or like if this dog gets saved. But like, I'll go on my mate's phone and he might have just fucking, I don't know, completely different shit. Like, but mine's like, it's like if I've watched a animal video 10 times and watched the whole thing, they're like, this dude gets sucked in for animal videos. You know, it's like, smash him, fucking give him more. And then you pick up someone else's phone and they got like fucking something else, and you're like, that doesn't fucking pop up for me. We're both same age, we're both fucking like cars, we're both like, so yeah, it's fucking, it's crazy, the control over it. Like,
so I think people just need to be like aware that these things are being engineered to do this to you. So if you're feeling unhappy and you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, you should just take a step back and be like, this isn't my fault I feel this way. Almost, in a way. You're victim to people that are smarter than you. And they're smarter than me. They're smarter than fucking all of us. And it's literally computers, like supercomputers, that have algorithms that are dictating, like they're watching what you're doing, they're learning from your habits, they're like, you know, even the way that Google sends fucking data from where you drive. Like that, Google is advertising to you based on your drive to work. Oh, there's a JB Hi-Fi in fucking Nerang that you drive past every single day. You're getting JB Hi-Fi fucking Nerang ads. It is what it is now.
Your brain's fighting the supercomputers. So you just got to remember that like, you know, they're supercomputers, they're fucking crazy. Like,
they know their shit.
It's okay if you get sucked in, but if you can be a bit more stand back, look at the situation, be happy with what you got. You don't need an upgrade, you don't need that, like, you know, because I'm sure whatever you got now, back then you were stoked when you got it. The novelty's just worn off because you've seen a cooler ad or you've seen a cooler. And it's like, I've got like this GTO coupe, like a 2002 model car, my first V8 when I was 21. I ended up getting like the latest VS, the Ferraris, whatever. But I just found myself like, even when I had those cars on the side, when the weekend came with the boys,
that's the car you
would
want.
be like, let's take GTO out. And it got to the point, that's when I got rid of the Ferrari. I'm like, why the fuck have I got a $150,000 car when this $30,000 car is like, puts a smile on my face. It's when they're both sitting there, I choose the GTO, this and that. And it's because I fell into that. Everyone will look at me in a Ferrari and go, fuck, that's it, you know, this and that. But
what a sick cunt.
Yeah, but really, that GTO is what puts a smile on my face, and that's what I enjoy doing. So why the fuck am I like investing in, you know, something else? Is it because I care about so much what other people think? So it's, I guess people just got to realise, I'm sure, like, you know, not everyone's into cars, but I'm sure they've all got something that
they're into.
This is more fun. They don't need the latest or the best or whatever. They're just, you know, you're just going to have that thing that you just be happy with, and you just got to fucking pull yourself. Like, I did get pretty like caught up in it. Thought I needed a Rolex. Thought I needed this. I like this Rolex I'm wearing now. It's fake. I just got it when I was in Thailand. It was I went with my mate Chris with the Ferrari because he had the real one. Yeah. And we just brought it because it looked identical. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. These guys, like, look at the cheeky little buggers. Like, they've copied everything. Yeah. And ended up I actually like the look of the watch. Like, whether it's Rolex or a fucking Samsung on it, I like the gold with the green. Yeah. And so I started wearing it heaps anyway. And dudes always messaging me like, bro, how much did you get this watch, this and that? I'm going on their thing. They're like 17, like this and that. So I just did a talk on my thing. I'm like, hey, everyone, just letting you know, this fucking watch is fake. I'm getting lots of DMs asking where I get it because it's a 40th anniversary fucking red edition. Yeah. I'm wearing a fake watch and I'm going to put it on my social media because half of you guys inboxing it fucking earning $700 a week. Don't waste your fucking brain cells even thinking about how to obtain it at that age, because you're wasting your time. Not saying that you can't afford it, but the people that actually drop 40, 50K on this are the same person that they wouldn't know if they got it or not. If the 50K left their bank, it's like if my missus sneaks in a cheeseburger on the card, I won't see that go. They got that much money. If their missus goes out and buys that 50 grand watch, that, you know, it's like, if you find yourself making sacrifices, changing your fucking rent or the cheaper car and that to get that watch, you probably shouldn't be getting it, unless there's some people that are, you know, watch fanatic and that's their hobby and their passion. I can understand. I know you can make money off them because you can buy and sell, and like if you're that guy or whatever and you're gonna bust your balls, but if you're getting it for an Instagram photo and impress your mates,
it ain't worth it.
Fucking no way. And I have to post that shit saying that I've got a fake watch publicly in front of everyone, and I don't give a fuck. But these dudes who are looking up to me, they're getting the wrong direction, the wrong you know, like I just have to post up because I'm just like, man, don't fucking worry about the watch. Like,
dude, I had a friend tell me that if you can't buy two, don't buy one.
Yeah, that's a fucking...
I think about that with everything I buy. Every fucking single thing I buy. Yeah. Shoes, whatever. Like, I mean, I don't buy much shit for myself. Yeah. But if I do, I fucking think if I can't buy two, don't buy one. Yeah. I feel like that's such a fucking good rule of thumb when it comes to like treating yourself for something.
Even like my mate with the Ferrari, I was saying, like, we've gone on heaps of trips together and shit, and you know, you go through like, say, duty free, I'm gonna treat myself to this bottle of whatever or this cologne. This watch is what he saw. He's like, oh fuck, I'll grab this for, like, the flight's still a bit late. If you're buying a watch like that, you can afford it. Yeah. If you're sitting there, pen and paper, calculating the next 12 months, your repayments, don't fucking buy the watch. Yeah. But it happens. Yeah. People fucking buy. I've seen mates buy shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. Like, and then when some say I do a good move with work and they're like, oh, you're so lucky, this and that. I'm like, bro, I'm not lucky. I sold my car for 50 grand and chucked it into this. You fucking 50 grand to watch. That's not luck. I just went without the watch because I don't care. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely like, it's just like such a fake illusion and people worrying about the wrong thing.
And the thing is too, like, one of the things that I don't think people, well, I guess it just feeds the other thing, but like, if a chick wants to fuck me because of a watch, I don't want to fuck that chick. Yeah. That's sort of the attitude that you should probably adopt as well. Yeah. Like if that's what people are attracted to you for, like for the things, again, it's just that like the surface. Yeah. Like the shit that's on the it means fucking, like, we're an ocean. Like, in terms of, if you look at like your being, like, we're fucking deep. Like, there's so much depth to just like the average person. Yeah. And like what you're seeing as a watch, that's the wave. Yeah. That is on top. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's man, like, without sounding like a fucking little whip cunt, like, the more I've been with my missus, the more like I'm attracted to her, because she just fucking every day will just crack me up with something different, or like do something for me, or fucking just, you know, making dinner and this and that, like from the start till now. But if you find yourself going for that 10 out of 10 at the start till now, if it's peaked there, it's only going to go down. Not saying that she's not like fucking attractive. I was already super attracted to her, but it just got more and more because, like you said, how deep we are. You just like, fuck, you know, we're 5 years in, still learning more, still seeing more, and it's it actually, you know, makes me more and more attracted to her.
Yeah.
You know, like if I met her, when I met her and then I sort of say lost her, something happened, whatever. Now if I like lost her, I'm like, fuck, she's like the coolest chick, like blah blah blah. And that all comes with, like, if you're judging that surface, that top of the wave, you're never gonna get to experience
the deep
that
shit that's underneath it.
Yeah, because you're just already cutting it off. Like you're already fucking it. Or if that is why you're with them, because of their looks, it's peaked and it's only going to go down.
Yeah.
You know, they're only going to get older and uglier.
Yeah, fucking oath, dude, 100%.
Yeah, it's fucking definitely crazy times.
Where did you, so like with the businesses, where did you sort of start, and like what was, I don't know, like, because I feel like you've done a lot of shit that we obviously haven't even got into yet, but like where was like the starting point of like you being like an entrepreneur?
So all started automotive, cars, blah blah.
And what got you into cars?
Old man was a mechanic.
Yeah.
He had a few shops. I used to work down Saturdays, just sweeping and broom shit when I was like 10, whatever. I just always liked the cars. Didn't know I was going to get into cars for work. I just got a car when I was 18. Brought mum's VT Commodore, lowered it, changed wheels, all that. Got it done at shops. Then the cops would defect it. I have to go back to the shop, pay them to change all the suspension, exhaust, blah blah. Then clear it, take it back, get done again. Fuck this! I got to fucking learn to do this myself because I can't afford it. So Dad taught me how to change springs, change exhaust, all that. And then it was like a mate got dicked and he's like, "Hey bro, can you do mine?" I was just helping mates out all the time. Just get us a slab, get us this. And then I found myself with like too much alcohol. I'm like, fuck bro, can you give me like $50 or something? Because like everyone's giving me slabs and I can't fucking keep up. And then I was like, just started doing it more and more and working on cars. And then mum's like, fuck, you got to get a factory because there's just too much shit everywhere. I was like, oh fuck it, don't worry about it. Like I was working at Autobarn selling car audio gear. I'm like, fuck, I'll just tell people I can't help them. Then my phone's just, man, like, because I was charging like $50, people like charge it, say, like, I'll give you like 200, can you do it? And then I clicked, I'm like, fuck, that's because the shop's quoted 500. So in my head I'm like, I'm not qualified, I can only charge them $50, like, you know. But then when I realised that, like, fuck, these guys are, even if they pay $250, they're still half price. I'm like, fuck, there might be some right money in it. And I'm like, did some maths. I'm like, fuck, if I get 1 or 2 cars a week, that'll pay for the rent, that'll that. I did get on social media at the right time. I started Facebook with iCandy Motorsports, and we got to 100,000 followers like fucking quick. Like we blew up. Like it just, I got at the start of like when social was actually like
no algorithms and shit, and it was
not even really businesses. It was like, you know, just people.
Yeah.
And then like back then you could make a business page, so I just made a person called iCandy Motorsport.
Yeah.
And then it just started fucking pumping, like, because we started doing real whack shit like gold wheels and gold tint and like Louis Vuitton dash and like just fucking weird shit. And most of us all hate shares, like, look at these dickheads, look at this. But it was just like blowing the page up because every hater shared, he might have had one person that followed him that digged it.
That actually was like, fuck, that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, so it blew up real quick. So, you know, 5 years down the track, I moved factories 4 or 5 times, got a team of 10 on. We're getting cars sent from like Western Australia, ACT, wherever, on trucks, and we're doing them, sending them back out. Yeah, got a really good name for ourselves. So we do like, you know, vinyl wraps, interior, wheel suspension, anything but performance, which is purely because I keep my shop like super clean, and you just can't. It's really hard to have a clean performance shop. So anyway, that sort of built the foundation. That's like what I sort of got known as the guy with the eye candy shop, and then I like started the clothing label, which really took off well. My missus, she runs all that, so that's like from hats to slides to fucking just every accessory, keyring, fucking t-shirts, hoods, you name it. And then I started like because I was partying a fair bit, and they chucked me on fucking a current affair for Australia Day. I think we chucked like a jet ski in the pool and some other shit, sunk a CRF in the pool and did some other dumb shit. And then, which they actually lied. They said, oh, we want to interview you about your charity work and all this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they came. So I'm like, fuck yeah, it's my
fuck, I hate current affair.
I know, I'm like,
Tracy Grimshaw can eat
I know.
a fucking dude.
Fucking, yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, my big break. let everyone know about charity work, everything. They came in, they're like, oh, so you do charity work? Oh, you sell tickets? And like, how do you sell your tickets? I'm like, oh, social media. And they're like, oh, what's on your social media? And then they're like, oh, how'd you go to Australia Day when the jet ski in the pool? I'm like, I started clicking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's like, do you think someone could have died? Like, you know, and this, I'm like, I'm like, fucking, you just can fuck yourselves. It's too late. They already like chopped all this shit up and like moved it around. Them that week, it was like Australia's fucking party rich bogan fucking like, has Australia Day become a joke? Like, have they taken it too far? And then I was stressing out like, fuck, I'm like, this is so fucked. I'm like, you know, whatever. And then my mates were like, dude, that is the shit you post anyway. No one's going to think different of you. You post the doing that shit. Like, it's not like the real Troy Candy. It's like, everyone knows that. So they sort of like made me chill out a bit. And then bang, like went up. I got so many dudes inboxing me going, holy fuck, you're the funniest cunt. Love this, love that. Like, didn't know about ya. Like, that's everything. Sick. And yeah, like, and then I'm like, I started like this thing. It was funny. I'll try and, I guess, without going too much in detail, but this dude, like, because I was always like sculling drinks, this random cunt just sent me a fucking, it was like a bong, and he ripped it and then sculled it. And I looked at him like, fuck, that went quick. Like, and I was looking at him like, fuck, it must have been because the way he had the bong set up, the hose.
Oh, it was like letting air in. Yeah.
So I like started like looking around and got like, found these like bongs that you like put on bottles and shit. And then I just cut bits off them and changed it and stuff. And then I like made this thing and I just called it the snorkel. And then I literally took it out to Australia Day and I ordered like 10 of them, just me and mates, and they went to Bali and fucking they got like, they were sending me videos like whole bars lined up waiting to use this snorkel. Like, really? Yeah, like everyone at the bar was like taking in turns, like, because no one had them. And then after that weekend of the like that, everyone's like fucking you know, can you get me on you? I'm like, fuck. So I messaged them. I said, oh, you know, can I order like 500? And I made this site called troycandy.com which I just put for them. And then I put them up, didn't set the amounts and shit, put them up overnight, checked in the morning, minus 2,000 something, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Holy fuck. So I was like,
no shit.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. So I ordered 5,000 and turned it off so you couldn't order. Message like, did fucking, you know, stock's on its way. I'm like, fucking air freight, pronto, fucking need these. Yeah. Everyone's drilling me, this is fucking bullshit. I've waited weeks. Finally they landed. So I put them back on for sale. And they fucking left the next day again, over again, because I thought, well, there's 2.5 still left. That'll be sweet. My holy fuck! So I ordered like 20,000. Wow! And then they literally were just pumping, like just fucking out of control, straight away, because I called it the snorkel. Straight away, I like after. So obviously my suppliers see me go 500, 5,000, 20,000. The Chinese are smart. Yeah. I go on Alibaba, type in snorkel, which we know a snorkel is what you go scuba diving with. Yeah. It shouldn't come up with anything. Yeah. Drinking snorkel, funnel, beer bong, snorkel, drink, snorkel, everything snorkel. Yeah. Oh, you know, they're like, these Australians drinking must be called snorkel because everything's fucking snorkel now. Yeah, right. Then literally in the next 6 months, probably fucking 500 snorkel companies chucking their logo on this and that. And like I got it patented, but in their name I didn't know. Like I'm all new to this shit. Yeah. But they patented it for them in China. So yeah, but that fucking blew up, and the party side and the drinking. So then that's when my brand started to diversify. Went from a cars, rev head sort of stuff to also the party stuff. And then I was like,
because they sort of go hand in hand, really. Like, because you're kind of just being a professional loose cunt in the cars anyway.
Yeah, you generally find most of your dudes that love to like blow tires and shit, love to party. So they do work hand in hand. And then just from there, I guess that's my background. Some people might just know me from like Troy Candy, or some people might know me from iCandy or both or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much direction I've taken it, which is hard. That's like, I had a lot of trouble in Melbourne with police and stuff because burnouts, partying, that in the eyes of them, you look like the fucking public enemy, you know. But I'm not a fucking criminal. I don't do nothing. I just look reckless, and especially with the current affair, like throwing shit like that. Yeah, people would like I meet people all the time. They're like, "Holy fuck, you're like really switched on or like business minded." And they're like, "I just thought you got fucked up." Like, you know, that's like, dude, I'm gonna get fucked up if I'm gonna sell snorkels. I'm gonna get fucked up every day if I'm gonna fucking sell 20,000 snorkels. Like, you know, so that's the sort of like where I'm up to here. And then I've come here and I reckon it's just gonna go next level. I've reached out, linked up with heaps of cool dudes like, you know, Corey, Creed. Yeah. I just got like a custom built KDM 500 from Jack, the rose gold one. Yeah. Corey like took that out. We made a sick promo video. We're gonna drop like, you know, me blowing tires next to him 12 o'clock, like fucking like and then like I've got all this other shit, lifestyle shoots for the clothing brand, this and that. Like couldn't do it in Melbourne. I was locked down even when lockdown's not there. Weather shit, like I don't know, I feel like here the brand's really gonna fucking pump, like it's really gonna kickstart it. So fucking excited to see what Goldie brings, that's for sure. Yeah,
it's definitely there's so much shit, like, because you do a bunch of YouTube stuff too, right? Yeah. Fuck, man. Like, YouTubers just don't exist in Australia in the way that they do in America. Yeah. And, like, that was one of the crazy things living over there. It's not something that I personally want to do. Like, I feel like I know the formula of, like, how to do it. I just don't really want to. Yeah. But the YouTube deal over here, I feel like Shami's probably doing pretty good, but I feel like most of his shit's probably on Instagram. Like, I feel like Australia's still pretty stuck on Instagram. Yeah. Like, wanting to be big on Instagram. But YouTube is fucking crazy, dude. Yeah. Like, if you can really tap into that whole YouTube deal, and, like, Tammy Hembro is trying to do the YouTube thing, and, like, even Renee Gracie's, like, doing a bunch of YouTube stuff, but, like, no one's really doing YouTube massive here in Australia. Like, I don't know... I'm not sure how many, like, if there would even be any, like, Aussie sort of YouTube millionaires. No, look, I think one of the huge things too is, right, like, car dudes are huge on YouTube. There's heaps of dudes with, like, they're just they've got a fucking collection of 100 exotic cars just from YouTube, like, reviewing cars, doing this and that. The difference in Australia
Are they Aussie guys?
No, like American. Yeah. If I take out a car and do a skid and I don't get caught that day, but then I'll put on YouTube. Cop will come to my house, arrest me, take the car, this and that. America, you do whatever the fuck you want as long as you don't get caught on the spot. They don't care. Like, they've got real crime going on. They don't have time to fucking sit on YouTube and find a car in an industrial estate. That's so true. You know, so every time I go to America, like, I did this video. I had the new Corvette, blew a set of tires off it, got pulled over by the cop, had the GoPro going, and on the thing he goes, "Look, don't do that. It was a fucking sweet burnout, but don't do that." That fucking blew up because everyone in Australia was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, dude, it's because there's people fucking stabbing each other and rioting, and they got fucking real jobs. They got like, these guys are like got real shit to do, you know. Whereas in Australia, we've got whole teams of people just going through Instagram, YouTube, this and that. And so for me personally, that restricts it. The content I do, like I said, I'm not a criminal, but I do things that incriminate myself that they don't like, you know. So there's that. We've also missed like the big jump for the algorithms, and like, you know, you know, a song fucking sets the mood on a video. Like, if you get that sick song, slow mo, this and that, you fucking really into it, you have to use non-licensed music. It just kills the vibe. Whereas all those early YouTubers, they could do whatever the fuck they want. Now when you upload a video, it's like, is there swearing? Is there this? Is there hate? Is there fucking blah blah? Do you do this? Can you do over? Is it over 18? Is it for kids? Man, by the time I tick my shit, it's probably much me and you that can watch it, and that's it. Like, I cancel myself out from monetization hard. So I'm actually working on my own platform now, which I'm gonna start, and I think this will be the next shift for anyone on social media, YouTube stuff, because you're investing your life in other people's platforms. So if you get your YouTube account deleted like that, if that's your income, it's fuck gone. Someone's just snipped you. If you're getting hits to YouTube, it's for them. If you're getting hits to your YouTube for your site with your pixel, with your data, you're actually collecting a subscriber network, emails. I think these days a subscriber, so if you've got their name, number, email and phone number, is worth $1. Yeah. So you can imagine people subscribing and this and that to, you know, websites. That information
we've got like
20-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. But yeah, you just don't know who the fuck those people are.
No,
they watch my shit every day.
So if you said like you can do a video and stuff, but if you actually wanted to email them out and have the connection, it's hard. Like the data's not there. You can't swear, you can't use copyrighted songs. So that's why I'm gonna make my own sort of what do you call it, platform?
Like platform, yeah.
But even the live streams, everything, instead of doing them on Instagram and stuff, I'm incorporating live streams, videos, like a full community.
How far down the road are you with it?
We've got all the names. It's called Candy Nation. It's fucking sick. It's going to be like, like a membership sort of thing. But like, I'm going to have like just fucking super cool merch only on there. I want to, anyone who's subscriber, and every month I'll pick just a random, and then they can either come out drifting with me or come on a party or like whatever. If they're a car dude, they might want to do that. Or if they're a party dude, or just get everyone really involved, and then I can really be open about shit, post cool videos, and like I feel like I'm being restricted. I feel like everything's like, I don't know, just really holding me back.
Yeah.
Whereas in America you don't have that.
Yeah.
But I think with this platform, I think I can really make some cool content. The biggest thing too with my content is I don't do pranks. It's not staged. There's so if you're doing all that, you can really plan it out, make sure it's suitable for audience, this and that. It's not incriminating yourself because it's probably fake or like, you know, it's not real. The shit that's happening with me is like just, I don't know why, just all the time shit happens to me and you just wouldn't fucking believe it unless I had it on camera. Like, I don't know if you saw, like, I didn't even get one step out of Queensland. I got arrested. They came to that.
Oh, yeah. What was the deal with that?
Just like we had this is another open court case, but we had like a open day because I was like doing a thing where I visit states and I just do like a bit of a meet and greet, and I did like South Australia and that went fucking pretty big, and then I did WA and SA was on the news, then WA was on the news.
Really?
Yeah, like because that many people came and just got like rowdy, like, and then which I didn't organise, and then I went to Queensland and it was almost like all the Queenslanders like, fuck SA and WA, we're gonna fucking show them up,
go even harder. Next
minute it's fucking like 2 air choppers, about 50 riot patrol cars.
Wow.
Like it was fucking out of control.
And what were you doing at the meet and greet?
It was literally like my mate's shop, and we just had a barbecue and shit. And then one dude just ripped a skid out front. Then there was V-rods fucking ripping it. Fucking everyone just cutting hoops. Just as I said though, no one's fucking punching on, smashing up. No one's drinking piss. Like it just skids. But in Australia, that's like the most offensive fucking. You can go to jail for that. So,
and then we have fucking McLaughlin yesterday blows a fucking set of tires off his cars at Bathurst. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the things that would always fucking shit me. Like I'm sort of mates with a few of those boys through film stuff, and Matty, actually, my brother, he does all the social media for the Red Bull Holden team.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and so he does.
I saw the Red Bull shit. I was like, the helmets and shit.
Yeah. So he also does Chaz Mostert stuff.
Yeah.
And so Chaz got fined a couple years ago for doing that fucking massive skid after he won. I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was like the Gold Coast or something like that. And then so like he gets fined from V8 Supercars, and then the cunts use it in every single fucking promo.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Every ad that you see, and you're like, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, are you serious? Like, not allowed. You fucking fine them for it, and then, but let's promote the fuck out of it. And the same was when UFC, like with Conor McGregor. You know, when he like threw the dolly into the bus, and then they fined him and he had to go to court.
Yeah, but then they used it to G everyone up.
Every fucking promo that goes down, it's fucking crazy, eh?
It is. We're like the nanny state. Even like Ken Block blocks off every city, LA, fucking Italy, wherever the fuck he asks to come to Australia. Now, like just fucking. So like they literally arrested me over that. I don't even know what for, but. And
so what happened? You're in the hotel room in quarantine.
Also, it was the day we're leaving, and everyone. So it was our last day. So imagine fucking 14 days in a room, not an apartment, a fucking room.
Yeah.
Like, tiny as fuck. No, we hadn't seen sun in weeks because you're not allowed out in the street or nothing. So they're like, yep, you leaving at 8 a.m. Sitting there at 8 a.m, doors packed, ready to go, so excited. Then it's like 8:30, 9, oh, what the fuck? Then I look through the little hole.
So do they have to come and tell you that you can leave?
Yeah, you got to still run by police. They bring you food, they do everything. And then I'm like, open up the door and look at all the other rooms. They're all empty. And Miss is like, why the fuck is everyone empty but us? So we're ringing up. We're like, hey, everyone's gone. She's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I'll work it out. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Finally get a knock at the door. I'm like, yes. And they open up. They're like, oh, Troy, you're under arrest. I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, you're under arrest. I'm like laughing. I'm like, let's go. And they're like, take all your jewelry off, this and that. I'm like, looked at Nita. I'm like, pick up the vlog camera. And she started recording. I'm like, why the fuck am I under arrest? And like, dangerous driving on fucking something of October 2019. I said, are you fucking serious? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why don't you just call me or something, or like send me a fucking court date, or like,
yeah,
you know, oh, because you're out of the state, you're out of jurisdiction, you're out of, like, you did it and then left, like, sort of thing. I'm like, you could have just fucking called me and I would have,
you like walk to the police station.
yeah, fuck, like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, the way that I was like a fugitive on the run and they'd caught me by surprise, and like they only caught me by surprise because I couldn't believe they chased it up.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's like, you know, all that shit is like happens somehow fucking all the time to me, and it's not staged, it's not fake, and that's why I want to create this platform to show like the real shit going on. And then plus, like, a lot of my followers just love fucking dirt bikes and cars, and unfortunately it's so fucking heavily monitored by police here. I'm just like, you know, make my own subscription, so at least if they're going to jam me with my own content, they're paying for it.
So you got a good attitude about, like, I was actually, because I did see that video, and I saw, I don't look at much social media in general, but when you were coming on, I had a look at some of your shit, and one of the things I was worried about is I was like, fuck, I hope this cunt doesn't have a shit attitude about police in that sense. Like, yeah, I get why you'd be fucking over it, but you actually seem like you don't have that bad of an attitude towards the whole deal. No, you know, because it's like, I get why you get police attention, like, it fucking makes sense, you know. So it's like, I'm stoked that you actually have a decent attitude towards it, but it would be fucking shit going through that stuff. Oh,
it's how, like, I got, like, it's not like mates cops, it's just like cops that I've dealt with for so long from getting in trouble that you sort of get that like mutual respect for each other. Yeah, because there are fucking good cops. Yeah, and there are fuckhead cops. Yeah, complete pieces of shit. But the thing is that they're people. Yeah, and it's the same as we were talking about Dan Andrews. He's just a fucking dude. Yeah. And he's just a shit cunt. Yeah. Like, it's just what it is. Like, but he's just a person. Yeah. And cops, there's good cops. Yeah. But essentially, it's not that he's a good cop. He's just a good dude. Yeah. And then there's fuckhead cops. Yeah, there is. And he's a fuckhead dude. Even these guys, these guys were sweet. Like, they were being all serious and shit. And when I got, they were processing my bail. And then I was like, because I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I'm like, is this something hectic, or like, I don't know, like, have I been like stitched up? Does someone think that I've done something? Because I honestly didn't know. You know when you go, I don't know, but you know, but I actually didn't know what the fuck was going on. So, and then he's like, oh, you know, I'm just processing your bail, blah, blah. Have you done this? Have you done that? He's like, are you affiliated with bikies? Is there anyone that you can't be in a cell with? And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, I'm fucking not... There's no question I'm not going in a cell. Like, this isn't, why are we even doing this? Like, fucking, yeah, I don't know what, like, you know, is going on. And then the cops came over to arrest me and shit, and they're like looking at something, blah blah, and they pulled up all the thing and opened it, and they're like, it's fucking dangerous driving. They're like, no, we haven't had anyone come through like this for dangerous driving. And he's like, oh fuck, he's like, just sit over there and we'll process your bail and get you out ASAP. And then I like apologise. I'm like, bro, you've just got your job. Yeah, you got a warrant. Job, like, I wasn't sitting there like, fuck you pigs and spitting on them. Like, you'll never get me. Like, you know, I'm not like that. I don't turn like I've had really bad experience with some cops who just really fucking fucked my life over the tiniest shit. But it's never made me turn on all cops. But because the thing is, at the end of the day, is that if someone hits your missus in a car, who are you going to call? Yeah. You're going to call the fucking cops. Yeah. Everyone's going to call the cops. Yeah. And people that want to, like, I'm not for dickhead cops, but I'm for cops. That, you know what I mean? Yeah. And because at the end of the day, like, they're the people that you are going to call for better or worse. And a lot of people will have
dealings with the police that like that's at their worst, and like a lot of times people that deal with the police have done something to deal with the police.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, no matter what you think of them, if shit really goes down, like you just kind of don't have a choice.
Oh, man,
You've got to call the cops.
Sometimes they'll laugh, like they'll pull me over, like trying to like fuck my car over, and like they're sort of beating around the bush. I'm like, bro, it's too low. I think my back left tire's fucked. It's loud as fuck. It's got a cam, and they're just like, I'm like, man, you're doing your job. Just fucking get it. Give me a ticket. He's like, I'm gonna have to give you a fine. I'm like, I know. Like, they just sort of spin out of it. They're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not sitting there like trying to argue with them. I've fucking done the wrong thing, or like, you know, it's like same as, you know, you get caught speeding and people like try making, you know, what was your reason for speeding? They think if you come up with a wicked reason, they're gonna go, that's a good. You go. Like,
well, I feel like if you've got a legit reason for speeding.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of obvious. Like my mum got pulled over like years and years ago, but my sister was just like, she was fine at school, then she just started violently throwing up.
Yeah.
And mum got caught speeding, going to the hospital. They didn't give her a ticket.
Yeah.
But last time I got pulled up, the cops like, why are you speeding? I was like, I'm fucking late.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it.
I'm late.
Yeah.
And this is kind of fucking me, so just give me a ticket super quick, and I'm probably going to speed to like get to my shit again.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get why you're doing this, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know, you can't argue with it. So, but yeah, I ended up like leaving Melbourne because of just like, they'd once say like, because I admit when I was 18, I fucked up. I was a hoon. I was doing skids in traffic. I was just being a fucking 18-year-old dickhead.
Yeah.
I've grown up. But there's like a certain group of cops that still looked at me like the 18-year-old dickhead. So once you are targeted, it's very hard to change it. No matter how much charity work I did, like I've been in the paper heaps on the news. We've done like stuff with like Danny Green. We've done all the Cowards Punch campaign. We've done breast cancer with the Otis Foundation, Rotary Club of Cobar with all the farm, like heaps of shit. Stayed out of trouble. I would just like fucking my life, man, like putting fines under my door and defecting my car via like fucking saying your car's too low via the photo you put in on your Instagram and shit. Like, you know, like, man, fair enough my car's too low and you pull me over and do it, but like don't take your time out of your day.
Yeah, at that point it's just personal.
So yeah, it's really personal. And that's when, so there was like COVID and then there was that. And you just put that together, and that's when I said to Misa, "Let's get the fuck out of here." Like, it just got to the point where we were just like they were coming and asking her what cars she'd driven, what cars have I got, where's Troy, what cars has he got, and she's like, "Fucking, we're in stage 4 lockdown. Fucking,
we can't go anywhere." Man.
Yeah, what do we? And they're like, "We need you to bring the car down the cop shop for a roadworthy inspection, this and that." And like, well, if I'm allowed to fucking drive an hour down the cop shop, let us fucking go out and, you know, do something. Coffee, fucking, you know, and it's just like, once you get like targeted like that, it's fucking, it's sort of hard to shake it. So like, I admit I'm not like, I got no idea why they're targeting me. I did fuck up when I was like 18, just being a hoon and shit, but it really stuck. And now I legitimately like, the last few runnings with them, I was like, guys, I'm fucking running a business. I'm trying to like fucking, you know, I'm growing up. I want to have family and shit. I want to be sit there like with you guys coming to my house every day and waiting out in front of my work and like literally some days just park the car across my driveway at work. Just fucking wait to see who's in there, what cars are there. Like, you know, they just drive slow up and down the street all day. I'm like, man, fucking just
there's other shit to do.
Yeah,
like that is a fucking real thing, man. Like, because I've got family that are cops up in Cairns, and like they're just sick cunts. Like, and that there's so much shit that we'd see them do where they're just like, I just don't have time to deal with this, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they pull someone up and they're just like, mate, pull your fucking head in.
Yeah.
Then they go, because they're like, this is the fucking paperwork and all the shit that I got to deal with. Like, I just got other stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
And then you get those cops where they're like, they don't have other shit they want to do. Like, they want to fuck with you.
Yeah. It's like, even once I got pulled over by this cop, and this is what made me like keep that not hate for all cops, is like my GDO had like massive turbo on it, fucking exhaust dump to the diff, like massive intercooler out the front, just...
Like, is obviously
head. Fucking he pulls me over. I'm like, fuck, it's finally come the day the car gets put off the road, and he's like, hey mate, how are you? And he's like, this is a turbo one, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, fuck, I've seen it on the internet. He's like, do you care if I look under the bonnet? And I was just like this, and he's like, I'm not going to dick it.
Yeah.
And I popped the bonnet. I'm like, this is like a trap. He's going to take a photo, send it to the EPA. And he's like, fuck. He's like, it was so weird. He's like, we were literally looking at photos the other day, and then you just drove past me. So I was like, fucking, he's like, I hope you don't mind, blah, blah. He's like, and I had a massive, because I finished a car show, it was a big sticker across the front window, like pretty much halfway up.
Yeah.
It was stupid, blocking my vision. He's like, I should really at least make you take that sticker off, but I'll leave that with you to, if you want to when you go home. Like, you know, I don't want to touch the car.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I was like, you know, I'm like, fuck, see, there's some dudes in there, they're into cars, they actually wanted to join the police force to do better. Yeah. And then stuff like that. And then there's just some dudes in there bored as fuck, and if you've popped up on their radar, they will fucking bury you. Yeah.
And there's like, man, again, you just can't downplay the fact that it's just people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, there's some cops that, like, we always have, well, we had our last one last year, but we always have this big fucking Christmas party here every year. Yeah. Because it's an industrial area, you should be able to make as much noise as you want. And, like, we fucking blew the tyres off a rental car, like, fucking gearbox. Like, we went pretty fucking hard. And these cops rocked up. And I always try to stay pretty straight, just because you know you're gonna have to sort of deal with that shit. Yeah. And old mate pulled up, and there was two of them. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to shut it down for noise." And I was like, "Nah, it's an industrial estate. Like, I don't think that there can be a noise complaint here, eh?" Like, and he's like, "Oh, well, we've had a complaint." And I was like, "Yeah, well, that's cool, but like, it's not residential. Like, we don't have a time where we have to stop making noise at this estate." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, well, you know, we'll come back in a bit if it doesn't." And I was like, "All right, cool." I come back in here, I googled it, and I was looking it up, and then I was like, because like, if you're in the fucking wrong, you're in the wrong, you know. Yeah. And I didn't want to be a dick to them, and then they come back. I was like, "Look, man, I fucking had a look. Like, I get you getting a complaint, but I don't know. Maybe that's just that person's problem that they're trying to be around here. Like, it is what it is. Yeah. You know, there's a mechanic next door. When I'm working doing podcasts, I'm hearing fucking bikes in a soundproof room. Yeah. I was like, it just is what it is." So then he ended up being like, "All right, man, what's going on? Anything, you know, going on here that we need to worry about?" And there was fucking heaps on. Yeah. And I was like, "Mate, I just don't know if that's like the conversation we even need to be having." and then he was like, "All right, mate, fair enough, all right." And he's like, "Who's that?" And it was fucking Jack Miller, MotoGP rider.
Oh, no shit.
And we're just fucking sideways. And I was like, "That is nobody, dude. Like, you don't need to know who that is." And he's like, "Is that Jack Miller?" And I'm like, "Mate, it's fucking nobody." I was like, "His name might be Jack, it might not be Jack, but thank you, we'll try to keep the music down." And then he was like, "Is it Jack Miller, man?" And I was like, "Mate, come on, how many times have I got to do this?" And he's like, "Look, dude, I'm a fucking huge fan. Like, please, can I just get a photo with him and shit like that?" And I was like, "Look, I think a photo is like kind of out of the question just because of the state that everyone's in. Yeah. But come and fucking say g'day, you know." And then anyway, yeah, these cops were just fucking hanging out. And he was talking, like, no condition to be chatting, but old mate was just chuffed. And it's like, the end of the day, that guy was just a nice fucking dude that
got told to go attend to a noise complaint.
Yeah. And it's like, I think too, like, I saw my housemate was showing me this video of this like guy. He's like, "Fuck, man, see the cops are harassing this cunt." I'm like, he's a fucking bikie, bro. Yeah. Like, and he's yelling at these police saying all the shit he can and can't do. It's like, if I was a cop, I'd want to belt that fucking idiot, man. Like, to me, that's not a dude doing, like, fuck the law. That guy's just a wanker, man. Like, yeah, like why be a wanker like that?
That chick in Bunnings or whatever, that one that went viral, like, under statutory this is my and they're like, "Just wear a mask, please." And she's like, "No, this is fucking private property under the Commonwealth, this and that." Like, man, if I was a cop too, yeah, I'd just be like, "Man, just fucking wear a mask. I don't even want to be here talking to you."
Yeah, but like, I wish I could arrest you for being a fuckwit.
Yeah, so that's like, I've tried to like have that, you know, positive attitude. And I even had a cop reach out to me in Melbourne because when I wrapped my Ferrari gold and I got pulled over and they defected it, gave me a hard time. It was the same thing, a personal thing. And I posted up my...
So what, they could defect it for being wrapped gold?
Oh, he said it was too shiny.
What?
And he's like, "Oh, I couldn't even fucking see you. You was coming head on and I'd fucking nearly crashed." And I was like, "Man, you're fucking milking it." Like, you know, the chrome wrap. Yeah. I'm like, "Come on, dude. It doesn't even have a roof. It's convertible. Like, it's like half a car." And he's like, "No, fucking blah, blah." So I took a photo. I'm like, put up. And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." all these shit boxes with holes rusted through the floors and fucking fuck tires. Then my baby that I fucking keep pristine gets put off the road for being unroadworthy. And it's got like heaps of comments. Everyone like, fuck this, fuck. And then it was all the, you know, fuck the cops, fuck this and whatever. But I just sort of left it, whatever. And then a cop rang me that sort of I've dealt with a few times, like, bro, can you please take it down? He's like, can you send me the defect? I'll get it. I'll check to see if he's
that's pretty cool.
Crossed the line or what his actual, because you know there's like section 107 of the Safety Act. He's like, you know, I'll look up, make sure that, you know, it's all done and whatever. And then he found out it was over, like it wasn't good, like what the cop did. And he's like, you just fill out the back. Like he's like, I can't lift it, but you can fill out the back, take it to court and show this. And then by the time it's 3 months wait into court, they already cancelled my rego and shit anyway. So it's like what you said, fucking I was guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
So I just threw the court case, I just took it and then just copped it because I needed rego on it. But yeah, he rang me, he's like, man, like he's like, you don't understand, like people like you know, doing that, he's gonna, like all these young dudes will straight away without even having experience with cops go, cops are dogs, cops are this, you know, that. So I ended up changing the caption a bit and took it down just out of respect to him. Yeah. And because he tried to help out. But I've always been that sort of mutual, if I get pulled over, I'm doing the wrong thing and they just do their job and move on. Same with the guys that arrested me when I landed in Queensland. They didn't know me. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. They said, this guy's got a warrant and he's in quarantine. Go get him. Yeah. Whatever. That was sweet. But when they're fucking carrying on, like I've had cops run to me, rip me out the car, throw the keys out, like hold me to the ground and shit because I've done a burnout or something. It's like, come on, man, like, this is a bit fucking, you know, or make sure they keep going to your house 5 years later and like, you know, it's like, you know, I'm not doing anything now and you're still doing it. That's sort of annoying. Yeah. Oh, dude, 100%. And yeah, that was definitely one of the things where like, yeah, so I'm glad that you got the attitude that you do because I definitely, we did fucking need cops. Yeah. And it's like, it's like a luxury to even be able to do a burnout. You know what I mean? And like the people, the things that we need police for is like, yeah, if your missus gets hit by a car or if your house gets broken into or you've been taken fucking hostage. Like, you know, it sounds extreme and it sounds retarded and it's not like you're probably never going to get taken hostage in your life. But just because that might be true, the fact is when shit really goes down, like they are the people that have signed up to protect, you know, us in that circumstance. And it just sort of sucks that it sucks that there's bad eggs, there's cops out there that can then, and you know, like that dude is right, like you put out a post and it's like that's just one fuckwit that's defected a car that he shouldn't have done. And it's like, you know, because it's like a critical thing too, like the way that you, like that first kind of 30 seconds that you engage with a cop pretty much dictates the entire experience. So if you're a kid that's like seen a post and like, fuck cops, I fucking hate cops, but that first 30 seconds is probably going to be dictated by, like you said, the way that people have been influenced. And it's like, fuck, there sort of has to be more good cops than bad cops too. Yeah, I mean, fuck. Overall, I've had a bit of a shit ratio, but they're there. Yeah. So, you know, it's even my mate was saying with the fry and shit, like I was, you know, just asking why don't you live in China still, like whatever, and he's like just talking heaps of stuff about it, and I was just like, fuck, like he was just saying, you know, if I drive into you on the freeway, it's pretty much up to me and you to fucking. Where's that in China? Yeah, he's like, sort it out. Yeah. If you say fuck you, I'm not paying you, and I call the cops, they're not going to come for that. There's just too many people. He's like, you literally got to like fucking sort it out on the spot. Get them to transfer you on the spot, or get them like come to an agreement. If you go and then you try and chase it up, it's just too many people, you know. And it's just fucking it's I guess it's crazy if it gets to that sort of stage. So I mean, like you said, I agree. It needs to be policed, state or country or whatever. We're over-regulated. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the problem. Like it's funny. Like actually, the last time I got pulled over for speeding, it was fucking funny. Like the cop, he literally was like, he was hiding behind a fence,
with like a radar
Yeah.
gun, and he was on a bike, and he gets me. I was speeding, but it was a 50 zone. I just thought it was a 60 zone, and he comes out, and he's like in the middle of the road, and I'm driving. He steps out into the middle of the road with his hand out, and then stops me. I pull over, and he the first thing he said to me was like, "Mate, you were fucking speeding then." He's like, "If a kid run out in front of you, how would you have stopped? You would have killed that kid." And I was like, "You run out in front of me," and I stopped.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me what would happen if a kid ran out of me, I'd stop in the exact same way that I just fucking stopped you, right? And he was just like, he had nothing to say to it. And I was like, "Please give me the ticket. I'm just running late."
Yeah.
But I said to him, I was like, "Man, I've lived in America where you can go 90 fucking miles an hour on a freeway. Speeding doesn't fucking kill people.
Yeah.
Like, people drive fast everywhere. I've also been on the Autobahn. I drove from fucking Germany to Amsterdam in like 6 hours because we were in a fucking Audi and we were pinned. We didn't crash. Like, don't, like, you're framing this in like a fucking super weird way.
Yeah.
Just give me the ticket and move on. Like, I don't need the lecture on this.
That's,
you know what I mean?
that's what I mean. That's the, like I got the same thing. Cop, I went past, he pulled me up, he fucking did a U-turn on like 3 lane each, like fucking hectic, bro.
Yeah.
And he like pinned it after me because like my car's always fucking like chrome, purple, blue, whatever. Like,
because it's your business.
Yeah, stand out like fuck. Pulls me over, gives me this lecture, blah blah, like, you know, look how low your car is, like it can't handle, it could damage. I'm like, you're worried about safety, you just cut off like 10 cars at 100k an hour on the wrong lane of the road and did a U-turn, you fucking psycho. Like, don't lecture me on fucking, like, when they're like that, it's just, it's over-regulated. And like, even in America, if it's 60 mile zone, you're doing 70, 75, they might pull you over and go like, you know, just be careful, whatever. Like, here, that's like fucking pretty much like lost a license, which means you're going to potentially lose your job, potentially, like, you know, it can really fuck your life.
Yeah.
We did a road trip like last year, and we got caught. So we're in an Escalade, and cruise control was broken, and my mate got a sore foot from like trying to keep speed limit, so he ended up just keeping it flat because we found out it was like electronic speed limited at 100.
Yeah.
It was like 100. I don't know. We're doing 230 something k's an hour, and we did it for like hours, and we're heading to Vegas from like fucking up north.
Yeah.
And fucking, I don't know where the fuck this cop came from, but she rocked up out of nowhere, and she was so cool. Like, the difference was just, it made us not speed again. She's like, this is my highway. She's like, this is where I patrol. She's like, there's 7 of you in this Escalade. If you had tipped or rolled, she's like, you would all be dead. She's like, it would be a fucking mess. I would not wish for that upon anyone. You got to think, like, if an animal ran out or this, you know, you could all die. How easy it was. She's like, I've been to so many crashes, and I've had to go tell families, and like, we're like, she didn't even give us a ticket in the end. She's like, over 120 is jail in Nevada, and we're doing like way over. And she's like, I'm not even, she's like, I can't even fucking take your car because you're nowhere near anywhere. So I'm not going to impound your car. You don't have an American license. She's like, I'm not even going to give you a fine. She's like, but I want to see you get to Vegas safely. And we're literally driving, and we're just all quiet after it, and we're just like,
fuck, we should probably put our heads in.
Yeah. But if the cop was like, you're a fucking dick, I'm going to fine you, fuck you, I'm like, fuck it, we'll just keep going, like, you know. But she was actually took the time to worry about our safety and explain what could happen. Even though we're grown men, we should really know that. She actually, like, you could tell she cared about, she's like, this is my highway, I want you to respect it, I don't want another call, like, I know all the next cops, there's going to be cops waiting, blah blah. And I'm like, fuck, she cares about our safety. And like, it's funny too, I got that on video because we had the GoPro in the car, and everyone's like, you just got done doing 237k an hour and she let you go. Like, but like, the way she spoke was like, she was doing her job. Like, she was, I feel, affected me more than slapping me with a fine. If she gave me a fine, nothing would change, but she really took the time to like care about it. And
that's a fucking cool story.
It was even cooler. We got on video too, like, but so it's just like the difference, really, isn't it? The regulations, and you know.
Yeah, well, that the crazy thing with, like America is you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want to a car as well.
Yeah.
And they just don't seem to, like, I guess they appreciate it, you know, like the cops are into it. And like you said too, you know, you had that experience with a cop where you just wanted to look at your motor, and it's just like, man, people are fucking pretty stoked most of the times on, like, it's just a regular dude that he's probably fucking Frost Bathurst and he's probably a Holden man through and through, you know, like, but yeah, it's just so fucking regulated over here to where, like, even, because I remember when I was a kid, like, everyone was into, like, the low luxes where I was from.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's sort of gnarly too, like, the car thing is where, if I think about it now, most of my fucking mates that have, like, had trouble with police, like, continually through their life, have come into that trouble. Their first point of contact with police was them defecting cars.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it leaves a sour taste.
Yeah. And I want to tell the government and the police right now that a lowered fucking Hilux ain't dangerous.
Yeah.
A lowered fucking Hi-Ace van ain't dangerous.
No.
And it's like, that's the first interaction point for most young men in the cops.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it sucks that that's the way, because where the dude's like, you know, getting like new wheels, new this, check over, like, your car's your baby, you don't want it to fall apart. And then I got mates, I jump in their car and, like, I'll drive, like, I'll be like, can I borrow your car, go to the shops, put the foot down, metal on brakes, fucking steering's got no power steering in it.
Yeah.
I'll get back, I'm like, man, how the fuck do you drive this? It's got no brakes, power steering doesn't work. I'm like, how have you not been pulled over? And they're like, man, I don't even get looked at. They're like, you know, we fucking put 10 people in the car and go through a booze bus and they wave me through.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a fucking idiot, man. If you need to stop, your tyres are fucked, your brake, you'll fucking smash into a car 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was just thinking about it, I'm like, he's right, he would never get stopped, so who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah, but the people that, you're right, the people that give a fuck and care about their car and putting effort into them, making sure they got new tyres, making sure they got sick brakes, like, they're the people that are actually getting targeted.
They'll do a U-turn on the other side of the road just because they see you and fucking cut traffic off just to pull you over and give you a hard time. And it's like, that's another thing I've learned here is, like, it's going to be good for my brands, because you guys have, like, Queensland Raceway, Archerfield, this, that. There's reasons to have a cool car. You just show it off. In Melbourne, all the tracks are shut down, even pre-COVID. They're like, you're not allowed to break traction and stuff. Cruise meets, like, if someone says, oh, hey, we're meeting at Bunnings, fuck, it just gets blocked in. Everyone gets defected. So it's like, all my mates at home, because a lot of them sold their cars, and, like, when I want to go for a cruise, I'm like, oh, bring car. And they're like, I sold it. And, like, they'll say the same thing, like, man, fucking, there's nothing, I couldn't be fucked. Like, there's nothing to take it to, or, like, you know, when I was young, there was auto salon, there was this, there was that. There's fucking nothing now, and there's, like, you know, it's become a police fucking thing. Like, it's sort of, like, killed the
whole industry.
Yeah.
And there is an industry around it.
Yeah, huge. Like, you know, mechanical, visual, motorsports, events, like, everything.
Performance.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, we're lucky our industry wraps, like, we do clear wrap, or say, like, a Rolls Royce, if you just want your car protected, we do a clear wrap, and that stuff will just never ever stop. But the whole, like, when I was young, a car would have, like, you'd pop the boot, TV will come down, fucking PlayStation, subs, neons, like, snake skin fucking interior. Now no one does it because they can't show anyone, and it's like, there's a handful, but, like, considering I used to go to auto salon, used to fill out, and it was just fucking mental. That, I think that culture's, like, died off because of the police stating on modified cars and shit, which sucks.
Well, you're a moto dude now anyway, right?
Yeah. I had a big break, like I used to ride when I was young.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I fucking broke my hand and shit in a car accident, and then it just sort of fucked me for ages.
Yeah.
But now I've got this KTM. I'll probably just stay on road though, because it's like everything's dipped in rose gold chrome, like, it's like,
really,
it's like a fucking show bike. So
Jack sent me some pictures of that thing. That thing's fucking out of control. What was, like, the idea to do that?
Just talking to Simo, and we're just looking at, like, you know how, like, dudes in America, like, build, like, Bieber's bike and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck, you know, every fucking Lebo in Australia drops fucking 50k on a V-Rod. There's sick road bikes, but I'm, like, we were saying, like my shop's, like, does that for cars, and Jack's like, fuck, you know, I want to do that for dirt bikes. And I was like, that's actually a cool idea. Like, it's that's a trend waiting to happen. There's no excuse not to. Just no one's done it, so no one's cared for it. But you get a group of 10 dudes in like fucking hectic bikes, people catch on, they want to like jump on, and then like, you know, I had a couple of mates were like, fuck man, you just put like fucking 15 grand of mods onto that bike, just like looks wise. I'm like, bro, but someone will buy a V-Rod and spend 60 on it. Like, no worries, they'll do the fucking wide and swing arm, fat tire, this, that, turbo, everything. Who gives a fuck? Like, you know, it's I reckon it's got a lot of potential to grow in Australia. Like he's blacked out every fucking bolt, the frame, exhaust, fucking all the hubs, triple clamps, everything's dipped rose gold. Like,
what's the process of dipping something in rose gold? How's that work?
It's electroplated, so they like literally like shocks on. I think like it's like fucking goes
like
into
nickel
a tank.
plating, and then they put yeah. Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I fucking love it. I've already asked him to start on a KTM 300 two-stroke for me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I want like full. I just love the fact registered 300 two-stroke. It just doesn't seem right, but it is. It's like, I don't know. So I'm like, I think we're gonna do like a giveaway for this bike, and then I'll do a 300 motard. I'm gonna be fucking sick,
dude. I've got one of those new Ducati Hypermotos coming.
Oh yeah,
Hypermotars coming.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, they're like fucking 950, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking kind
of scared of the thing, to be honest. Yeah, we'll have to go for a ride on 100%. But yeah, that whole custom bike market is it's not really around that much.
Well, it's like it's currently around, but for
the
purposes,
Harleys and
no, even the dirt bikes, like actually performance suspension, exhaust, tune, like even the sticker kits are all branded livery. Mine's like just blacked out with like rose gold through it, and like it's just pimped out for no reason. Like it's none of the shit really does anything to make it perform better. But fuck, we do it with cars, we do it with Harleys, we do it with other shit, so why not? So you should see the CRF2 that's getting matched to my mate's Ferrari, because you know the red interior with the white. It's gone white frame, white plastics, white seat with red stitching, a red sticker kit.
Who's doing that?
Simo. He's
really?
building. I'm gonna try and fucking really get it pumping for him. I'm doing heaps of social media shit.
He's such a fucking lord, eh?
Yeah, he's a really good cunt. So
how long have you known him for?
Fuck, around maybe 20. I think he hit the burnout scene and car scene like 2015.
Oh, like, really?
Because he got like the VK, the VH, started coming to car events, and he's fucking real cool dude, like super humble. So
he fucking rips too, dude.
Yeah,
rips on a dirt bike.
Yeah, he does. Actually, I did a VY clubby for him. He brought a VY clubby ages ago, and that's when I started like actually talking to him about, fuck, he's actually a good cunt. So we just fucking
Yeah. So is your shop still going in Melbourne, or how's that?
No, it's been closed 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So
are you going to open it up back here, or?
I'm going to open the one in Melbourne again.
Yeah.
When COVID's gone, but I'm looking at factories here. Just maybe a little one. It's I feel a bit lost because my factory's like, you know, my jet skis, bikes, cars. If I break a wheel, I can go jack it up, change it, organise it. Here, I feel like, because I haven't felt settled and it doesn't feel like home. It feels like a holiday.
Yeah, right.
But I really feel like once I get my like crown, like I got like a car at a mate's factory in Arundel and a car at a mate's factory at here and there, and like I feel like I just need my factory to feel home. Like, you know, it's like if you moved and didn't have the studio and just sort of like, you just like your little base, like your little fucking when you want to be by yourself and just
tinker.
And then I thought about, I'm like, fuck, if I'm going to pay rent, do all this, I may as well fucking start like just something little.
Yeah.
So I won't be as big as Melbourne, but maybe just something little, give it a crack, see what I think it's like, I've noticed a lot of done up cars up here, wrapped cars, cool cars and shit, like a lot more than I thought. I thought everyone would have a fucking surfboard and a skateboard, but like fucking,
it's way more diverse up here than people think.
I literally thought like no one would give a fuck about cars and shit here, and then I've been here and I've been to way more car shit than I ever did in Melbourne. Like, been to like Queensland Raceway already like 3 times, fucking that Luke Fink's fucking Archerfield, he's got his own track there at the airport.
Oh yeah.
It's like a motard fucking drift track, like little fucking playground.
Yeah, right.
So I've been doing like vlogs with him. Where like we bought last week. I brought a $500 Commodore. He brought a $500 Falcon, and we're like drifting together, like smashing them into each other and shit.
Sick.
Like
we'll have to get you hooked up with Jack, because he's just like a full AU Falcon for life, dude. Like he just buys AU Falcons.
And there's so many up there. I went to the track and there was like, they were just lined up, and that's why I purposely brought a VT. I'm like, fuck it.
yeah. He fucking frosts them so hard, dude. He's got like literally a graveyard of AU Falcons.
That's such a Queensland thing. Like Falcons up here are fucking everywhere.
Yeah, they're just, I guess, fucking cheap, and they actually drift good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So like, there's the image of you, like social media wise, like party dude and like all the vlogs and shit like that. But like, how much are you just grinding with work, like percentage wise? Are you just always fucking on working?
Yeah, like sometimes I do some Q&As and some live streams, and because I've got a lot of people who are inspired by the business, and I want to give them a chance to pick my brain a bit. So I've done a few talks on there and stuff, but like like people wouldn't see, like, you know, I'm up at 6 every morning. I at least spend like minimum 3 hours on socials, whether it's replying to stuff, this and that, and I got
3 hours on socials.
Just on replies, not even posting or not doing anything, just like
I'm so bad at that shit, eh?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But again, for my brand, because it's connective as a community, I'm not, you know, if I was just some like ripped, sexy bodybuilder dude, I wouldn't need to talk to anyone, because they're following me for like my fucking physique and shit, like, you know what I mean? But I don't.
Yeah, you just have to lift some weights and post it.
Yeah. I'm like really trying to fucking connect. So I do that, and then I've got like my team in Melbourne, always daily liaising with like my managers and stuff, going over everything, you know, my accounts. And I've got like a brand management for Troy Candy and ECM labels, so they're always sampling clothes, website, customer service, everything. Like every day there's like, hey Troy, this is happening, or do you want to order more of these and that, blah blah. And then working on new things like the Candy Nation platform, and, you know, bits and pieces, YouTube, like, so like it sort of works hand in hand, because my content is the stuff that I love living and doing, drifting. So if I'm going out drifting, some mates will be like, fuck, you just fucking didn't even work today drifting, but they didn't know that I vlogged it, put it on YouTube, Instagram, hooked up with some dudes there that then we've teed up another event and like networked, and like, you know,
you're always on. To
the blind eye, it's just like, fuck man, this guy's just like running a fucking muck. But I don't really turn off, just, I've always got my laptop and phone with me, and fucking, you know, online fucking meetings, and fucking, it just, it doesn't stop. And I can never be comfortable. Like, even when I got everything going, I'm like, fuck, I'm going to give this a crack or give that a crack. And I probably don't need to do a shop up here, but I've got a really good customer base up here, and heaps of young dudes have messaged out saying like, you know, I've been always wanting to
get a car done by you.
Yeah. So it's like, it's almost not even, it's almost just to like, it'd just be cool to have the brand up here, like, you know. That's why I sort of want to do it, and a bit of a hub, bit of a home, because we do like giveaways and meets where I'll say like, hey guys, we're giving away this car today, like come down, we'll draw the barrel. It'd be cool to do some shit up here. And you know, have some like, or people want to say, oh, like I want to see the eye candy cars in person. So, you know, at home we'll have like a day where I'll get like 20 mates and customers, get them all down there. People come and like love to see them, like almost like our own little car show just for our cars. But so yeah, probably start the business up here and do that too. So between a lot, it's it gets a bit overwhelming sometimes, but got really good teams in place for everything.
Yeah. That's the one thing me and my buddy Sam were talking about it yesterday. He owns Fist Handwear, like the glove company, and then he does Dixon in Australia. And like we were sort of talking that like the sort of the way to, I don't think a lot of people understand, is that we all have, and I feel like you'd be the same, we have these lifestyles where we're working all the time but none of the time as well. And I think that that's such like a cool way to sum it up. And for people that want to know like, how do you have this, how do you be successful, how do you know, live this kind of life, it's like you almost got to decide what the lifestyle is that you want, and then you just figure out how to make money off all of those things that you do. And you know, even with my shit, it's like I like jiu-jitsu and I like fucking motocross, and I like doing the podcast. So I just try and figure out ways to make all of those things profitable enough so that I can just keep doing them. Yeah. But it means that I'm always working. Like there's always, when you integrate motocross into your fucking job and jiu-jitsu, and there's like what comes with that is like you never really get time off, and there's never a time when like I rode on the weekend and we didn't do any content, I didn't film nothing, I barely posted a story, and like I had guilt about it. I was like, fuck, I feel like it was a waste. I've got sponsors, I got these people that I could have done shit for, but you know, sometimes you do just need to take a step back and just fucking enjoy it for what it is. But it's like that's the price you pay almost for, and like every time you party now, it wouldn't even be like you get to party scot-free. Like you gotta post the shit, you gotta be thinking about you know, the brand and all the shit 100%. That you've got going on.
Sometimes I'll be sitting down with my videographer and I'm going through the footage, I'm like, man, we can't use any of that. I'm fucking wasted. Like I can't even fucking talk. Like I'm such a fuckwit. Like, whereas I had a good night. But I was like, felt guilty because I'm like, man, that was fucking such a waste. That was such a good opportunity to do like, you know, this. So, but it comes down to too, like if you're doing what you love doing, you'll just be better than anyone else at it. So if someone like seen your vlog channel, this and that, and it wasn't their passion, but they're like, this guy's killing it, I'm going to start doing podcasts and stuff. If they just jumped in and tried to do it, there'd just be like no connection there, and like it'd just be like, you know, they're not passionate about it, and then it just won't work. And same as like heaps of people try to do what I do. Even the snorkel companies and stuff, like some guys like they're making the fake ones and shit and selling them like half the price, and people are still buying mine just purely because like they're not even showing themselves drinking it or going out and doing it. They're like just literally a photo of a snorkel, you know, in a white booth. It was like, I'm like going out, getting everyone fucked up, making cool content, and I'm passionate about it because I'm having fun. Or we're even doing cars, like some sign companies just sign out their car to have it sign written. I fucking love my car wrapped and shit. Like even if I didn't have my shop, I'd have it wrapped anyway. Still wrap your car, and then because people were like, fuck, his car looks sick, I want to get my car wrapped. Whereas if I was just trying to wrap it with like signage shit, it wouldn't really G people up to. But like, it's just like, it's cool how when you really find what you enjoy doing, the money just sort of comes. Just sort of like, you don't even really have to try it. Just start networking and people see what you do and you get noticed because you're so good at it. And then it's like imitators like who come on board, they just sort of pop up and then fall off and pop up and fall off because they don't love it. So when times are shit too, they just throw in the towel. Whereas like I've had the fucking worst times. I've been robbed. I've been fucking this. I've been that. I've had like hectic stuff happen at the shop.
What happened when you got robbed?
I sold a car and it was actually it was a pretty tough time where a lot of shit went wrong. I was already pretty fucked. So I had this SS Ute, and I think I sold it for like back then it was like 15k. And it was on a Friday arvo, and then by the time I went to go to the bank, the bank was closed, so I had a safe and I put it in the safe at work. Then Saturday morning I was on my way to work and one of the boys got there early and they're like, "Oh, we've been broken into." I'm like, "Can you go to my office?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can you check under the table, blah blah?" And they're like, "There's a safe there, it's empty." And I'm like, I wanted to throw up, man. Like it was like my last bit of money. And like times like that, I was like, honestly, so I'm like, fuck, I just want to work a 9 to 5. Like if I wasn't passionate about eye candy, the brand, everything, I'll definitely 100% could like look you in the eye and say I would have ended my lease, gone fuck this, it's not making money, and I could just make good money just working 9 to 5 somewhere. But like at that same time I ended up getting ECM tattooed on me because I was like, I got all through it and then shit got good, and I'm like, I got it tattooed on my wrist because I was like, fuck, giving up's like just not an option, and I should always just look at this like this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. So I got it on my wrist, so just like every day it's just like, this isn't a fad, I'm not going to ride it out, I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to like, this is my thing, and no matter what gets thrown at me, I'll get through it. So even this lockdown, I would have like, to be honest, if I didn't have my other online incomes and different sources, I got heaps of stuff going on everywhere. Like fucking starting an energy drink. I'm like, I've got fucking shit everywhere. I would have probably had to close the doors permanently, like for the shop, even as I guess successful as we were. So I don't know how like small dudes are going, but if I didn't have all that other stuff, I would have had to throw in the towel, especially if I wasn't passionate about it. You know, I would have over the lockdown, I wouldn't have wrote it out or whatever. I would just fucking, because you can exit your lease and shit like with COVID, you know. I would have just pulled the pin. But even now, like all the other stuff I'm doing is actually generates a lot more revenue than my shop. But I just fucking love my shop. You know, I've got a good team. They do cool shit. Everyone loves following it. Like, you know, we posted a new car. Everyone's like, have you seen the latest eye candy, fucking GDS or Maloo or Lambo? Like, how sick's that? Like, everyone talks about it. Or I'll post it when my mates will message me and I'm like, fuck, you boys killed that. Like, you know, like we do real wild shit, and that's just like my foundation, the brand, something I'm proud of, something I made. So whether someone like, you know, tries to make a good offer on buying it or I do really well elsewhere that I don't need it, I'll just always have it. Like it's just fucking, when you love it, you know, and
that's why it is successful.
Yeah.
Because it's just a ride or die thing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if I was in there for the money, but, you know, we got to cut corners. That car's been in here too long, so just hurry up, get it out, like this and that. But I'm like to my boys, fucking, I'll make them do something 3 times, you know, just to make sure it's like fucking perfect, because it will shit me. Yeah. Or even sometimes customers have said, oh, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, nah, it was fucking...
I did.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just little shit, you know, like their bumper might not have been sitting on properly, and it's not our problem, but maybe the boys did it. Yeah. And I'll be like, nah, because I want to get photos of the car, I want it to look right. And like, when you don't have that passion, you don't have that eye, you let the shit go however. But that guy might have told his mates, fuck, the dude's fixed my bumper and that, they cared for the car, and then that guy's got, fuck, I'll just go there then, and it all just fucking falls in place, like, you know. But as soon as you're chasing the money, you're chasing like shortcuts, time, profit, you know, you can't fucking really, it's really hard to care, you know, spend more than you need to on time and stuff like that. So yeah, it's crazy how it all falls in place.
But yeah, you're so right, man. Like you know, to speak of my buddy Sam, like, fuck, that cunt, 10 years doing his gloves and shit, and it's like he's been so fucking... He's had shit that... I mean, he comes on the podcast here all the time because he's one of my best mates. Yeah. But like, he's had stuff he hasn't publicly even spoken about where cunts like would lose their shit. Yeah. If they knew just how bad things have been for him in his life. Yeah. And he just hasn't quit. Yeah. Never, not one time. And there was even... You know, there's even times with me in America where like I had my friends go to Vegas and I stayed in my house with no electricity. Yeah. Because I couldn't pay my electricity bill. And like all my boys are in Vegas fucking carrying on, and I didn't tell anyone that I was having those problems. I didn't tell anyone that I was that broke. And, you know, like my fucking missus at the time went and stayed at her parents' place because they had fucking hot water and power. Yeah. You know, and it's like just for, I think the people that really do end up making it happen, it's not an option, eh? Like there's just no, you're literally like a legit captain of a ship where it's like, oh well, ship's sinking, so am I. Fuck it. It is what it is, man. But there's always a way. Like there is always a way to make it happen. Like even when you fucking got robbed and shit, it's like you think in that moment, you're like, fuck, it's over, I'm done. But something always happens if you're prepared to just ride through that shit and be like super uncomfortable.
Well, it's always comes down to this. What I say to everyone is, it's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it. You got one hand, this is fucked, poor me, I give up, fucking nothing ever works for me, I got the worst luck. And then they attract it, because I'm like a big fan of like law of attraction. Those people that are like that, are just bad shit does keep happening to them, and it's because they're like that, they expect it. And then you got the other person that's like, oh fuck, this just happened, how can I fix it, how can we move on, you know, like what's the next, how can I make this better, what's done is done. Whereas the other people just drag it out, like you know, like I'll say we're all going to a fucking music festival and the driver gets done speeding and loses his license. There'll be my one driver that's just going to be a sad cunt for the whole day, and he's going to fucking drain it for everyone else too. Or someone like me, I'll be fucking shattered, but it's done. So I can either be a sad cunt for the whole day and it's not going to get my license back. Yeah. Or I can go, fuck, I lost my license, but let's send it, boys. Like,
that means I can get fucking blown.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what those different people do, and they can't handle that. That I don't know, they just never go through to push forward and, like, you know, because they just think it's not for me, it's not this, it's not that. And we've all got the same shit. Like, I remember, like, I was at TAFE when I was 18 and, like, lunch break would happen and my mate would be like, oh, you know, why don't we'll go get lunch and this and that. I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry now and stuff like that. And it's because, like, I was waiting till 3 o'clock so the stunner deal would happen at Hungry Jack's because I only had like $5 a day for food, and like if I waited till then I'd get like burger, McFlurry looking thing, chips, drink, everything for like $4. But if I went at 1, it was like $10. Like, that's what it got to the point of. But no one knew that shit, and I didn't sit there and go, fuck, I'm never gonna make it because this is how I'm living. Like, I thought, fuck this, I'm not fucking gonna live like this. Like, I want a fucking cool shit. Like, you know, I tried to go to school and do TAFE and that. I'm like, fuck, nah, not feeling it. Do this, do that. I fucking literally left, like, my job, just start working on cars and shit from the, like, you know, even my mates at the time, like, fuck, you can't quit your full-time job, just start playing around cars in your garage. I'm like, fuck, man, I'll work it out. Like, you know, like, whatever, you know, I don't care. I actually did, I did, like, labour with a concreter, a builder and shit. I'm the biggest, like my mates that know me, I'm like, I don't even fucking, I've never held a nail gun or a fucking hammer. Like, I'm anti-tradie. I tried to put a TV on my wall and, like, lunged like a fucking massive hole and went into a water system. Like, I'm just fucking illiterate. And my mate told me, he's like, bro, I can get you like $300 a day cash, but doing like labour work and shit. I'm like, fuck, $300 a day. Like, I couldn't even spend that if I tried. Like, that's fucking heaps. That's $1,500 a week clear. Like, I'm like, fuck, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. Got there, I was like climbing under houses, digging up stumps, like, you know, like fucking fully army crawling under, like digging up stumps, fucking dead possums, spiders in my hair, everything. I pushed through one day, and then I came back the next day, and I was just like halfway through, the dude come up to me, he's like, this isn't for you, is it? And I was like, nah. And he's like, fucking don't be here. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't be here. And then, like, it made me think, I'm like, I'd think I'd rather have no money and be happy than have money and be doing that. Which, don't get me wrong, anyone fucking listening, or fucking some of my mates froth getting down and dirty, being a tradie, that's them. That's sweet, I respect that. But for me, he could see that, like, this kid is uneasy, really uneasy in this position. And it made me think, I'm like, fuck it, he's got a point. I'd rather play with cars, and I'd rather do that. Why would I do something? Why would I get up every fucking day and do something if I fucking hate it? No matter, you give me $10 million, what's the point of having the money if you're working most of your day? That's most of your life. Like, you may as well be happy. You know, what are you gonna fucking work Monday and Friday, probably Saturdays too, to get a bit of fun on a Sunday? Like, you know, and that's when I sort of thought, fuck it, I'll just give it a crack. At least if I can just get by, I'm excited to go to work. And still to this day, I'm excited to go to work. Even when I'm back in Melbourne, going to my shop, what's in today, I go in, it's cool new cars, speaking to customers, you know, fucking, like, I fucking love it, like, getting up. There's always bad days where job's going wrong, we've broken something, and, like, fuck, like, I had a mate's, I did a mate's Rolls Royce wrapped, and one of the boys went to put the window trims in and chipped, like, a tiny bit of wood grain, like, tiny, like, to be honest, I probably could have put it back in and no one will know, but I'm not like that. So I rang Rolls Royce. I'm like, hey, can I get, like, the top of the wood grain on the door? Yeah, mate. That's $2,000 plus GST. I was like, nah, just not the whole door and shit, just like the bit of wood. He's like, yeah, there's a guy that hand makes them. We have to order him. It's 9-week wait. And I'm like, holy fuck. And, like, that's a shit day, because I'm like, do I try find one second hand, try and get it in, not tell him this, that? And I tried everything, couldn't. And then, like, when I know I've got to ring him up, go, hey, you know, your Rolls Royce, I just fucking did this. And then like as soon as I told him and got it, I ended up finding this guy that fucking re-clears it and makes it mint. You couldn't see. And he was sweet anyway. So thanks for telling me, it's fine, blah, blah. But in my head, I'm like,
yeah,
and like, that's a shit day. I'm like, today's the day I'm going to call him. Time's up. I could fix it. Like, you know, we all have our shit days, but apart from that shit, like.
Well, I think the thing is like, you're all like, you can't have a life without problems.
Yeah.
So you should kind of want to have, you should try to have control over the problems that you've got. Like the problem that you have is fucking a dude's Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Like at least you chose that problem.
Yeah.
Like you chose to take on that project, and it's like your deal, and you're doing what you want to do. Like what fuck problems arise, but it's like better than being in a position where like you're not even getting to choose your problems. It's like your problems just choose you, and you're fucked. You've just got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's fucking it's crazy too, because I listen to an old school philosopher, that Alan Watts. I don't know if you, and he talks about how problems and time limits and everything like we live for, and if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be happy. And he starts it backwards from saying like, if you knew you could dream for as long as you want and do whatever you want in your dream, eventually you'd only want to dream for, you know, less and less hours and less, and then, you know, you'd start wanting to like find yourself having time limits on shit, and then money things on stuff, and like actually restricting yourself. And like, I don't know, as stupid as it sounds, I see it as a way like say when I was a kid and play games, so like Grand Theft Auto, I'd really be into it, and then as soon as I put all the cheats, get unlimited everything, I'd just get over the game and throw it.
Yeah.
And I feel like life's like that.
Yeah.
If you got all the cheats on, unlimited money, unlimited everything, like it's maybe cool for like a week or 2 weeks or a year, but you'd start wanting challenges, you'd start wanting things to actually maybe go wrong, like in a fucked up way that it sounds. So it's like, you got to appreciate the way the world works and the journeys that happen, and when things go wrong, it's fucking just part of life, and just fucking embrace it and learn from it, and go better and do better and be better. Like, you know, look back on it and go, fuck yeah, I handled that good, or I learned a lot from that, or if I fucked this up, I'll never do that again. Like, you know, it's sort of cool, like the way it all works. So yeah, it's fucking.
No, dude, I totally agree. He's a fucking G too, Alan Watts.
Yeah, I know, he's so old school, but fucking I like, he's like literally some of them times where I wanted to fucking pack it up, and then you just feel lost and like don't know what to do and don't know who to talk to and shit. I just literally put his shit on, and I just fucking get like super motivated, and like I'm like, nah, fuck this.
He's super legit, man. He's like a actual like legit Buddhist.
Oh really?
Yeah. He spent a bunch of time in like India with a bunch of like the really legit like Vipassana teachers and like all that. So he actually is considered a Buddhist, even though he's like an English like not a philosopher, a professor, sorry. Yeah, so like, but he actually is like a Buddhist.
Yeah. Well, I only got on Tim from that. There was just a short clip, like, because I was never into watching like a 3-hour thing back then when I was young, because I didn't give a fuck. But I was literally like 18, 19, 20 watching that shit, and it was all started just a 3-minute clip that someone obviously cut out of it. Big thing, and it was just said, what would you do if money was no object?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, and he just talks about like such a good point. Like, if money didn't fucking rule your life, what would you just do? And then that's when I got like really stuck into it, and like I started watching the longer and longer ones, and then I'm like, fuck, no one knows the meaning to life except this guy. And I'm like, everything he says, like, it actually just fucking makes so much sense. So I was like, I pretty much live by that sort of shit. So I've never, it's even got rid of my aspiration to have unlimited money and unlimited that, because what he says is true. Like, you know, you wouldn't want that forever. We need problems, and we need problem solving and fucking, you know, bits and pieces. So when shit happens and it goes wrong, so going, this is fucked, like fuck life. I'm like, fuck, this is just like one of life's curveballs to keep me fucking growing and learning and on my toes.
But it's funny, like people talk about like, oh, what's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to make meaning of life.
Yeah, do something with it.
Yeah, like, you have a life to live.
Yeah.
That like, and the crazy thing too is like that no one really chose life. And I think that's what kind of that's where a bit of unhappiness can come from in people, is that like, if you sort of go all the way back, like we didn't even choose to be alive to start with. Like, you're just fucking here now. Yeah. And it's like the meaning of life is to make meaning. of the life that you've been given. You didn't choose it. This wasn't something that you decided
I'll take that body.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to fucking Earth today and I'm just going to hang around for like 90 years and fucking see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I think that if you try and find meaning in like external shit and you like look for some kind of meaning, it's like you're looking at the wrong thing. Like you make the meaning, it's on you, it's your life. You that's the one thing that you get when you get here is like, hey, here's life, make something out of it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's just, I think the whole education system needs to be updated now. It's outdone from when we were kids. Like too much, like as far as I knew when I grew up, is you're supposed to go to school, go to university, get a girlfriend, get married, have kids, get a house. Now for me, like I've just sold my house because I fucking lost so much shit on it because I just was getting drilled. I just felt like this, like even this like social opinion on you that you should have a house. Like I was buying like a $100,000 car and not having a house. People like, you should really have a house. Like that's the wrong thing. Or why are you doing this? Or why are you renting? And fuck it, I'm getting a house. Then I got the house, realized like, hey, I want to expand this business. Oh, sorry, like because your capital is like tied up in that. Or hey, this and that. And then like, even people like, oh, fuck, my house going up 20 grand this year. I'm like, fuck, if I had that money, I would have made 100 grand on fucking merchandise. Like, and I got sucked into that whole 9 to 5, do this, do that, blah, blah. And I feel like a lot of kids need to know that there's no fucking secret recipe to life. Everyone's different. So someone working 9 to 5 with a really good career and they've got a good stable job, house probably good for them just to sit there and make, a bit of interest on and fucking go up. But someone like me is fucking moving states and I'm overseas all the time and fucking around, and plus I got like, I'm using my money here, there and everywhere to start shit. A house is a burden on me. I'm much better off renting, moving around, doing what I do. And
that $100,000 car that you're buying, like that's like marketing for your business. Yeah. So yeah, it's so case by case. You're so right.
Yeah, it's like, and I got sucked into that, like, and even like, not from school and shit, but like, just society is like, you're 30, you should really be married by now. It's like, who says that? Is there an actual book that says when you're 30 you're supposed to be married? Like, some people get married at 20 and some people get married at 40. Like, you just get married when you find the one you love. You're like, don't get married at 30 because you're like, oh, I'm with this chick, I don't really like her, but fuck it. Everyone's saying like, it's too late. Yeah. Same thing at house. Like, you might have the money for a house, but it might not be the best thing to do. Or you might fucking drop out of school and you're beating yourself up because fucking you're supposed to go to school and go to university. But if you're like got something fucking good going for you, and you think that you want to pursue that, just give it a crack. Like, there's that whole fucking, I think it all needs to be updated, like life skills, all the shit I've dealt with was nothing I got taught in school. Like, I learned how to use a Bunsen burner and algebra, and then like basic shit, like when I copped a tax bill, what the fuck's tax? It's like, they really need to fucking do the whole, but then it's like, I just think, why would they bother updating it when they need those people to work 9 to 5 and do that shit and follow orders to create the foundations. And so it's sort of hard like that. But I guess to any younger dudes even listening, like, I feel bad when I beat myself up when I got shit exam, like my exams were like, didn't even tell me, it's just below 20. It's like, don't let this guy down, you're going to beat him up too much. They're just right below 20. It's probably like 1, but like, you get a bit beaten up by like almost think my life's going to be shit now because that was the step. You do school, you do that, you get exams, go to uni to get rich and do that. So like, some people could, you find them, they might ride themselves off too young.
100%.
I haven't got a missus yet. I haven't done this yet. There's just no time limit on shit. It's just fucking, when it happens, So, I definitely reckon that's a fucking big misperceived, untalked about thing.
No, definitely. Well, hey, dude, we've pretty much done fucking 3 hours, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Did you have anywhere to be? Didn't even ask you.
Yeah. Whoops.
fuck it. Sweet. Nah, man, I really appreciate you coming on, and yeah, it's been rad to talk and hear your story, and I'm stoked you're up here now. I'm sure we'll
bro, definitely
hang out again at some point.
Yeah, I've got to go ride. I've got to fucking get some mates into bikes.
Done.
Thanks,
Perfect,
brother.
Man. Appreciate it. Fuck yeah, legend.
Fuck, that went quick.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, eh?
What's a normal length for you?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do all of them pretty much 3 hours if I can. Oh.